too hard, something would push back.
What happens next is my favorite part.
What is up, everybody? What's going on? Welcome. We are back with another episode of From. We had the episode drop last night, and it was a good one. Daryl already said, love this episode so much. This is why From is dope. Absolutely. We're going to get into it, but first off, Brian, tell the people where they can find you, sir.
Yo, 1/3 of Spoiler Kings, you see it down there. We go live Mondays, Thursdays, and Saturdays. Then me and Nzo go do the rewind Saturday mornings. And then, of course, when From comes out, we're doing watch parties. We talk about all the TV shows that come out. And then us three are doing The Devil Behind the Silver Door. I cannot wait. Got to catch it on I think it's going to be Monday this week, then Tuesday going forward. So, fire. Oh, no, I'm sorry. Tuesday this week, Monday going forward. Yeah, it's going to be fire. So I got you.
Yeah. Absolutely. Jen. Tell the people where they can find you.
What up, everybody? You guys can find me on Nerdy AF. That's our new channel for me, Xander, Tanner, and Felicia. You can also catch me covering Widow's Bay on Sci-Fi Vision and doing From right here on Big Ford Entertainment and with Real Cinema and Therapy. And then you just heard Byron Rose covering Devil in Silver. So come check us out.
Absolutely. Make sure to check us out. Jen's channel is actually in the description. So I would like you guys to go over there and sub to the channel and make sure you put on the notification so that you get a view of everything that they do. Now, before we get into the episode, we're going to go into our overall thoughts. Brian, first off, what did you think of this episode?
It was a lot of things, a lot of details, a lot of things from the opening that we always, kind of just pass over that were right there in front of our faces. When we talk about what type of monsters do they have, every monster was always in the opening credits. We've seen every single monster, so now we've seen the dolls. The dolls are there, right? We can talk about the golem's there, right? So like the spider's there. I mean, all these things are right there in your face, and you don't start to see any of these things. We're gonna get some more answers. I can't wait for episode 7 because Donna got some stuff to talk to us about. If she can talk, right? We're going to have a lot of things to talk about.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Jen, what are your thoughts?
I really love this episode. I know it was definitely a little bit of a slower pace because we were trying to figure out answers. And I feel like there's a lot of focus on Boyd in this episode and like different relationships that he had to go through or was dealing with. And it kind of came out with that. So we had a little focus on that. And then we got to see like Sophia's fuckery and debauchery and like what she's like really getting into. So I kind of really like that. But it was slower paced because Sophia's been like laying back in the cut and just like starting little fires where she can. It might not be like this huge action packed like sequence of an episode, but I really liked all the answers we got. And even though it was a little slower paced, I loved it. Absolutely loved it.
Absolutely, 100%. I thought the episode was great. I watched it again last night, and I watched it again this morning. Yeah, slower pace, but again, with a show like this, you gotta expect having some episodes that are slower pace, especially if you want to get some answers. And we definitely got some answers in this one because we're gonna break it down already. Because I think what Sophie did with Henry, we'll get into that later, but I think she's kind of putting that Abby vision in her head. Remember, Abby was like, oh, it's just a dream and all that kind of stuff, start shooting people. I think that's what Sophie is trying to do with Henry, right?
What if I told you it's more?
I was going to say, I think that there was a version of the Man in Yellow then and said something to Abby because that night was the night that Boyd was missing in action and Boyd hadn't been there, right? And Ellis was begging for him to stay home and Abby had been lonely the whole time. This is not the first time. I think this is part of what, Sophia and the Man in Yellow does. It tries to get either a dream and take out people and like start up a massacre. So I definitely don't think this is the first time that seed's been planted into somebody's head on purpose by Sophia.
I love the idea you just said seed. What if she can't, or Man in Yellow can't shapeshift into someone without ingesting his blood? Maybe once it's a seed, I'm putting the seed in you. Now I can then, as you die, I can then become you after death. Could we then see her now become Henry? Because now she sees the suit, become a different person that's already been in the town, kill him off, bury him, and do what they got to do.
Right.
I don't think I know the seed you're talking about. I don't think she needs to do that to transform into her. I think Henry just needs to die. But I think she needs Henry to do something first, right? Which is probably going to end up getting him killed, and that's when she'll be able to take over Henry if she does. But I don't know if I'm.
The blood has to be something. The reason why you had ingest blood. There
Yeah,
has to be some reason for that.
yeah.
Yeah.
I think it's more to corrupt his mind, make him easier to believe that this is a dream and stuff like that, right? Because remember, at first Henry like didn't even want to have a conversation with her. He bounced out. Anyways, we'll get into that when we get into the episode. We'll definitely get into that. What up, cool nerd? Thank you for popping in. Daryl said, loved all the scenes in this episode. Yeah, and we're gonna break down the scenes pretty much like we always do. The episode does start off where it kind of left off last week, which is Boyd and Jade having a conversation. And in this conversation is pretty much Boyd not listening or believing Jade's vision. So what do you guys think about Boyd not believing Jade at first? Go ahead, Jen, you start. You muted, or your mic went out, something. Yeah.
So there you go. Sorry, I just muted because I was sneezing before. Yeah, I got pissed. I was like, come on, don't act like Tabitha. You can't just draw the line here. Like, you're the one that like encouraged him to take those mushrooms. You had an argument with Don. You're like, no, but if that's what we have to do, we have to do. So how are you not going to believe the information that came back from that? I understand that there might be some skepticism, but as hard as he went and argued with Jade, I thought that was stupid. But I guess it kind of just showed his arc. Like I said, it was really focused a lot on Boyd. So it kind of shows like mentally he's still grappling with everything that's going down there because he's got a lot of pressure on him. But I like that Jade was like, "Oh my God, what do I have to do to get you to believe me?" Right? And obviously there was nothing that he could do, and we're gonna see that Father Khatri actually steps in. But I was kind of tight. I was like, "Can you please stop? You guys need to stop getting answers and then taking 2 steps back because you suddenly don't want to believe the shit you just found out."
Absolutely, 100%. What about you, Brian?
I mean, I understood where he was coming from because as someone who's a leader of a town, how many people do you want to risk? But you had to figure out how many you can risk and be good with, So it's a lot. It was Jade is not the most reliable person. So, if you know anything about what's going on with Jim, if you knew anything that was going on before, he's done a lot of different things and people have died because of it. So I think he does need to be cautious. I think he does need to have answers. And without those answers, I think we wouldn't have gotten to find the door. Just say that it's there without trusting. You had to go actually search. So I think it actually led to the right thing.
I'm more on Jen's side. I was like, Boyd, what are we doing here? You've seen too many things for you not to believe what Jade was saying. Yes, you may want to be cautious. You may want to make sure there's proof that he's telling the truth, but just to like brush it off like it was nothing to me is like, bro, you were standing in just a couple episodes sitting in a grave and it tried to pull you down. So nothing in this town is impossible. You know what I mean?
Not just
so
being impossible, but you trusting that Jade has interpreted the correct way because Jade interpreted the music, all the other stuff, and guess what happened? Jim died.
Yeah, he did, but they did find the answer. Jade did find the answer to the music, though, right?
Yeah,
They did
it
find the answer.
was not even a good answer.
Right, but that's why we say there's knowledge comes with consequences, right? There's always going to be a consequence for something new that you find out, which I believe there will be a consequence for the door. And I hate to say it, but I still think Donna's going to die. I still think she's going to die. I don't think she's going to recover from this situation that happened to her, which I said when we were watching the damn stream, but I was freaking muted and nobody could hear me.
One thing she said.
Shit pissed me off. I was after the stream last night. I was watching back the show and I was like, I can't fucking believe nobody heard a damn word I said, right? Because when Brian did something last night where he clicked on it to see how much time was left, and I was like, "Good job, Brian," because I was just about to ask you how much time was left, and nobody heard what I said. So yeah, it just annoyed me because I did say that the episode was going to end with Boyd finding the door. And the reason why I knew that is because we seen the picture of him doing the sledgehammer against the wall, right?
Yeah.
So I was
Right.
like, yeah, that's how this episode was going to end. But again, no one heard me when I said that. So, but the Donna thing, well, we'll get into that. We'll get into that Donna stuff later. Yeah, so I just think I agree that maybe because even like we see Jade, he does go to the door or to the thing to find the door, and there is no door there. So that at that point, I could see Jade Boyd saying, "Well, you're wrong." You know what I mean? But at first, kind of thing, I think at least let's give him the benefit of the doubt. At least you don't have to believe him completely, but at least let's give the benefit of the doubt because this mushroom trip was something that we knew they were going to do to try and find answers, right? So
Right.
I don't know. It just kind of pissed me off at the beginning at first, but I completely understand where you're coming
Can
from
you go
too.
back to the opening?
Yeah.
I mean, keep it muted and let's just play it for a second.
Hold on.
I just want to look at it because every time I look at it, this is why someone asked me last night, why don't I just skip over it? Because every time I see this opening, I see something else. I see the entire story every single time. You talk about the woods, and then you talk about how all their nightmares, the woods becomes their nightmares. Their dreams of the dead show up in the woods all the time. And talk about the boy in white. All the monsters that we see, all the crows, everything that's there has been shown in these pictures. Someone had to draw these pictures. So it started to really get me to, dive deep more into what's actually going on. Are the fact that the yellow house had the swerve around it, right? And is that the same one that collapsed? So
Right.
there's always something there more as we see all this stuff going on. Why is it at 50 states on this flag if it started in the 1500s? I look at it and I really, that's the girl who died with her teddy bear, right? So
The rag doll. Yep.
The rag doll, yep. The body right there, the skeleton has got to be burned. Does that release something?
Hold on. This one, right?
Yeah, the burning of the skeleton right there. So is that the skeleton that's in the tomb that's in the middle of the Ankui kids
Right. Does that mean the bones have to be burned
to release?
to release?
We know about the boogeyman that's coming in. We know this it could be the man in yellow. We know about that. The all-seeing eye, that's interesting because they always see everything that's going on. So I thought that was interesting. The claws between them, how's it glowing? Between Ellis and Fatima. And then at the end, so all the monsters right there, all those monsters are all the monsters that we've seen going forward. So you look for, do you see if you can see a golem? The dolls.
Hold on.
All it goes so fast.
I wanted to stop at one of them. Hold on. That. What the fuck is that?
The entity, right?
It could
Could
be the
be.
entity or it could be a golem.
It could be the golem. Yeah, that's what I was thinking too. It could be the
thought
golem.
the first one could have been the golem.
Which one? Hold on. Shit. I go back. I think I know which one you're talking about. This
That
one?
one?
I don't know if that's the golem. It looks like it has a tail though. You see this here, right here?
Yeah.
It looks like it's a tail. I don't know if it's a golem. I don't know if that's the golem. It could be. It could be. But
Go on
I
the
still
next
not.
one.
Yeah, I'm still not sure what that is yet.
Right.
Bro, this thing go by
Man,
so quick.
it's so
you know what I
fast.
mean?
It's hard.
You can't,
Like,
you can't
it's-
press pause quick enough. I need Jen's
It
hand
does
so you
have
get
fast.
the snapshots. There we go. Scarecrow? No.
No, I'm hoping that's
No. I actually was thinking that it was
Because
the-
it's
the
blood
scary-
coming from it down its mouth and eyes.
and throwing. Yeah, it's like throwing up from it. I don't know.
yeah. That's
Okay,
definitely
so
somebody
Is
dying.
this something we haven't seen yet? This could be.
Right.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Is that a creature or is that someone in the town that died? Right?
Right.
I don't know. I'm not sure what that one is.
Right there.
I think that's Smiley.
That looks like Smiley because the wide mouth.
Mouth.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, that
Yeah.
looks
Yeah.
just like Smiley. Yeah,
Yeah. I
Yep.
think
yeah.
that's Smiley. And then we had that creature that we didn't know.
So no, I really like the opening. I think that it gives the more we dive in, the more we're going to see more about these little things that are going on.
Especially because what Jade right before this whole scene, Jade tells Boyd like this whole place was built on a sacrifice, and he calls speaks about like ancient civilizations that used to believe about sacrifices and doing things with the bones, and that the bones anchored spirits there. And he mentions the Egyptians. I know we had mentioned that last night, but when they get downstairs to Acosta and she's looking through the view clicker.
First, he
Right?
sees the pyramids.
Yeah, and she sees the pyramids. So I thought there was definitely a connection, something with that. And then that whole area also has a lot of beliefs about golems and stuff like that. So I like the whole tying connection into it all this magical stuff, right? That ties into our real like history.
Nerman said, "Yo, I hate these writers. They put blood in the guy's drinks and don't show us what happens. Yeah, because that's how you keep people invested to come back next week, brother, where you don't
Right.
know and we can speculate on what it was, you know? That's what makes the writers great. I know you like I hate the writer, but you know you like it. That's good writing.
I
That is
also
100.
remind you, it says, your blood, my blood is your blood now, motherfucker. That's, what does that mean? What did you pass on? Because we've seen this before with Martin, Martin and Boyd. So what is it? What's going to happen? What's happening again with this blood? I think has to be more because they already showed us that it meant more.
I feel like the drinking of the blood, like, so if the blood is a part of the man in yellow and he can obviously control and his blood has some kind of powers. So if Henry's to digest it, I'm kind of with Enzo, like it's gonna wind up controlling him. And I think like Henry will be like la da dee, like just going about his day, and then the entity might be able to almost like possess his body. Because when you think about like Abby when she was like shooting all those people, she was like not really herself. Like she kind of had to like turn around to Boyd and she was like, "It's okay," and like you could see the man in yellow possessing her or something like that,
Yes.
like the entity possessing her. And even though she still sounds like herself, there's something a little off, and she's doing like this horrific act. So I could see that being a possibility as well.
My
So
question then is when we see Abby in the woods and she's a spider and all that stuff, who is that?
So
what
if
do you
the man
mean?
in yellow took her soul, then it would be him controlling her.
Her body, yeah.
But would it be actually her actual body because that was actually was buried, or would
Right,
it be shape shifting
right.
into Abby? But he's
Are you
able to do
talking
that.
about the visions?
Yeah.
You're
I
talking about the vision, right? Okay. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So
yeah.
Yeah,
what is it?
I, so I think after they're dead, he's able to shapeshift into them, right? I
Mhm.
don't know if he can shapeshift into anybody that's alive. I think you actually have to be dead because we already know that the the fears in this town feeds off of the people who died fears, right? So I think death has a lot to do with it as well. Where yeah, maybe the Sophie can manipulate people, but to really get to be them or give the visions of them, they have to die. You know what I mean? Father
Okay.
Cartry, a vision
But
that had to
then,
die.
so you think so? So you think the man in yellow is Father Kotri?
No, 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 no. At first I did. Not until this episode. Until this episode, I believe it's the same way with the boy in white, where the boy in white can transform
Yeah,
into these people as too. And the boy in white
I
is
think the boy in white
transforming
is the
into
one. Yes,
transferring into
Mhm.
the people that are helping. That's who the boy in white is doing, and the people where like Abby and it's
says
what's that?
it's Father Kotri, the boy in white controlling Father Kotri.
One
I
Is that
hundred
who
agree.
he
percent.
is?
Yeah,
100%.
Exact same thing I thought.
I
yeah,
think
yeah.
each side takes souls. The boy
Yes,
in white and then the men in yellow, and the souls that
Mhm.
they take, they're able to use.
Yep,
yes, one
I
hundred
like it.
percent.
I
And
like
I
it.
believe, um, so Abby came to Boyd a couple of times. Abby is the man in yellow, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because even Boyd says when he has Elgin or one of them, he's talking about he's seen his wife and he's like, that was not my wife, right?
Right.
Mm-hmm.
So I think the man in yellow is doing the manipulating with the visions, but when we see Tom, right? Tom was helping Jade, probably the boy in white. Father Kotri, probably the boy in white. Abby, the man in yellow, and I don't know if there was another vision. If there is, I'm not remembering one, but it's possible that it's a man in yellow too as well.
I like it.
Jade doesn't even know what they have to do with the bone, so it's a suicide mission without even knowing what you have to do to get it. Yeah, but knowing that you need the bones is the first step. You know what I
Right.
mean? Figuring out what to do with them after that, then I can understand that 100%. But at least knowing the bones and knowing that you have to at least get the bones, I think
Yeah, but
that.
you can't move without measuring. That's why I'm not mad at Boyd for doing what he's doing. Once again, if you just, hey, he got an idea, let's go do it. Everyone's dead. Everyone's
No,
dead.
of course. No, of
So
course not.
Boyd needs to
100%.
go through the process of what he's doing. I think everything that
Yes.
what he did was right. That's why I'm not mad at that Boyd for not just saying, okay, let's go do it. No,
Yeah.
let's go
But
through this
Boyd doesn't
process.
have to say let's go do it, but to at least say, okay, let's figure out what we can do or this instead of just turning it off like, oh yeah, you want me to do this and that. He's like, okay, so if this is what you think, then let's figure it
I
out
mean,
more, right?
they went to the colony house.
Yeah, it
If you
took him a
really
while
break
to,
down
yeah.
what he did, he actually did do all those things. The only thing I will say is that he kind of turned on Jade. He's probably the first person to turn on Jade when Jay's trying to push them down this road. Is this kind of showing them what's going to happen with the entire town turning on Jade if he says something they don't like?
Yeah, look how Boyd snatched him up in the kitchen
He
after
sure
all
did, real
that. He
quick.
snatched him up real quick. Yeah, he's like, say
Yeah.
that to me again, but he was right. There was nothing that Jay didn't say that wasn't right, but Boyd didn't like hearing it. And I think that you're right. I think that's going to happen with the townspeople. They're not going to like what Jade has to say when they do get more answers.
Absolutely. Xander said, we all watching together. Jen is the queen. Yeah, 100%.
Love you
100%.
guys, nerdy
Absolutely.
as fuck. What's up?
People don't like this episode. I don't understand. They don't understand what makes from great. Absolutely, 100%.
Right,
You know,
100%.
I, what I think it is though, right? Because I think this season started off with like the most hype. More people had just started to get into From right now, right? And they don't understand how the structure of From has go because this is how every season has been so far. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? So like how can you sit there and say, oh well, we're not getting any answers, I don't like it? No, we getting answers. We just have
Yeah.
to put, that's the thing, we're getting answers, we just got to put the answers together. You know
Yeah.
what I mean,
Yes.
guys? Like let's not
All the
act like
answers are right in front of you.
yes, yes. And they've been right in front of us since season one.
Yep.
You know
And
what I
yeah,
mean?
I like it.
They've been right in front of us. We just got to put them together. Now they're what they're doing now is putting them together for us in a slow way, but they're putting all the answers because we all these questions that we're getting answers to, we had back in season one. And they're just giving us the answers for it now. So if people ain't liking it, I don't know what to tell them, to be honest with you. You know what I mean? But yeah, Jade and Boyd, they have another conversation in the kitchen, and that's where Boyd kind of loses it on Jade because Jade is like, hey, you've tried many times and people have died. You know what I mean? How many people died under your watch? And Boyd did not like that at all.
Yeah,
And
as a
hemmed him
protector,
up.
you understand that, but he could have said the same thing about him, right? He could have said, how did your song go?
Oh, yeah,
how,
100%.
how did things that you said go? Right? So why should
Mhm.
I just listen to you blindly too? Could have,
right.
what that?
But the only
Definitely.
thing is,
I would have hemmed his ass up too, though. I would have hit him real quick.
the only thing though is, does Boyd actually know that's the reason why Jim died though? Right? Because I don't think anybody actually knows the reason Jim died is because they played the music.
No,
You know what I
100%
mean?
no.
No.
Yeah,
Yeah, so
and I don't think they shared any of that. And I'm glad. I think
exactly.
that could be a problem. And you actually saying that's a huge thing. That might be a huge problem with Jade and Tabitha going forward. Or if they find out the reason why Jim is dead is because of what he did. Why
Well,
wouldn't they believe him then?
well, this is it because I went back and I was looking at the synopsis and I was like, let me see what it says for episode 7. Episode 7 is when Tabitha and Jade's secret come to life.
Right.
Meaning they're gonna find, the town is going to find out about Jade and Tabitha in episode 7, and that's what's gonna cause a huge problem. So where we go from there, I don't know, but yeah, it looks like there probably is going to be a rift in the town. I think Boyd gets to it before they actually kill one of them, though, and stops it from happening. You know what I mean?
Agreed.
Yeah. Because it seems more like that's where probably the plan comes in. You know, it's like, oh, we know what's gonna blah blah, and then Boyd's like, no, listen, we have a plan. This is the plan, and then they make that plan because I believe what we said last night is that when we see Kenny on the bus, that's the plan at nighttime to get the monsters, and they go into the tunnels at night, right? Instead of going
Right.
in at day where the creatures are sleeping at day, they go at nighttime when the creatures are out doing their hunting, where there's no creatures in there. So I think that's when they're gonna, or how they're gonna figure out and get the bones. So
And
I
from
like
the
that.
outside in, we looking at this with Jade knowing about the tunnels, as the man in yellow was calling Jim, tell him don't let your wife dig, man. Don't let your because he
oh
wanted to protect
yeah,
these tunnels. These tunnels are a
yes,
huge thing.
yes,
From the beginning, he said don't do this. So now that we have access to the damn tunnels, this is gonna go somewhere. And it's funny because that's Tabitha and Jade again doing getting them to the tunnels, getting to the next step. So.
that's a really good connection. I didn't think that. That's the reason why the man in yellow was like, "Don't be digging under the house because under the house you're going to find the tunnels and everything that lead to the kids." Right? Because how many
Yeah.
times have we seen them go in the tunnels and they had visions of the Ankui kids in jail or on the rocks or something like that? Right? So yeah, the definite answers are in the tunnel. Go ahead, Jen. You were gonna say something.
I was gonna say exactly that. There's got to be some
Keep
type of
talking.
like
I'll be right back.
magic there's got to be some type of magic or supernatural powers in the tunnel, right? Because obviously it's powering the town, giving them electricity. That's where the kids were kept in cage. That's where a lot of the visions have been. And I do think that's why the monsters are there. And that's what Jade says at one point. He's like, what if they're down there guarding what we actually need? And then they come out
Exactly.
at night to make sure that we stay in our houses and don't look, because during the days when we'd be out looking. And I really like that point. I think that is one of the answers, even though it kind of doesn't sound like it's a confirmed answer. The fact that he said it is something that we've all been thinking. So I really liked that he said that because I'm like, that's probably exactly what it is. They don't want you down those tunnels. And if you pass a certain point of those tunnels, you're going to keep going further out. And I know we've discussed that's probably where the Lake of Tears is, and it's probably a long, far ways down into the caves, but it probably does take you to the lighthouse.
Takes you to
Because
everything that needs to be, everything that's connected. It's all connected through those tunnels. It's
Yep.
kind of like what you said about you talk about the temple and all that stuff, right? You talk about
Yep.
the ancient pyramids. You talk about all the. That's exactly the sacrifice the room. This is where the tomb is. You also see that when Jay goes back in there and it goes to where the tombs where the Nkugi kids were sacrificed, the tomb in the middle is like buried. It's under dirt and everything. So there's so much there that's holding people in the town. So once they get into the tunnels, it's possible they can get out of that damn town with all type of answers.
Right. I
well,
agree.
you did say last night when I showed the picture of the pyramids, you were like, I said there's water on the bottom. You said yeah they had, but the water on the bottom in Fromville, where you said it would be like the system, the water system,
Yeah,
whatever, the
irrigation.
pyramids, yeah, irrigation system under the water, like it's from town, so that's where the Lake of Tears would be because it would make sense with Ethan's dream of the spider coming down from a ceiling. Right?
Right.
They're at the Lake of Tears. The spider comes down from a ceiling. So it's obviously that it's underground somewhere where the Lake of Tears is underground somewhere, right? And I
Right.
think it would make sense. The
Sewers have
Ankoi,
to empty somewhere. They have
yes,
to empty somewhere.
yes. And hear it. Where the Nkui kids, right, probably were crying when they were on those labs. Tears went down underneath the ground, went down further, and created the Lake of Tears. You know what I
Yep.
mean?
Yeah.
So
No,
hundred
that's
everything
percent.
about this is perfect
yeah.
because you have to have that. You have to have. If you have plumbing, it has to go somewhere, right?
Yeah.
Water.
Hmm.
So
Yeah.
it's somewhere.
It's going
Absolutely.
somewhere.
That
And yeah,
that little diagram that is probably the map, like obviously it's the map of a pyramid, but if you take it and put it in Fromville, you can kind of see the levels. You know what I mean? The sacrifice, go a bit lower, the Lake of Tears. So yeah. So instead of saying we have to, because it's like, oh well, you have to take the bodies to the Lake of Tears. Well, you don't have to take them like outside to the Lake of Tears. You take them under somewhere, and maybe the lighthouse is the direct way to get down to the Lake of Tears
Yep.
because
Yeah.
the
So basically,
lighthouse has
there's
something to
stairs
do with it.
up and there's
Yes,
stairs down.
stairs down, right,
Right.
that's the opening for the Lake of Tears.
And I 100% agree because I don't think the lighthouse is actually doing like what we think of as like a lighthouse job where it's like keeping away a boat from the shore. I think the lighthouse is more of a beacon to mark like at like it's right above it, almost like
Yes.
a hole in golf, right? Like that's where you have to like
Mm-hmm.
get to like. So yeah, I think it's definitely the marker for the Lake of Tears.
100%. So we see the door that they found at the beginning of this. This is the door to lead them to the kids, right? You got to get to the lighthouse to get to the Lake of Tears. You know what I mean? So that kind of
Mhm.
makes sense to me too. Now, do you think there's an easier way to get to the lighthouse?
I think they burned that bridge because I think it was a faraway tree, and the boy in white told him you can't
Hmm.
go through that no more. But I think there was a way. I don't know if there's one now.
What if what if you were right with your theory? Because I remember we talked about it, I think one of the first streams we did, where you said Jade had to play the music at one White House, like
Mhm.
one faraway tree, and Tabitha had to go through the other one. You want to explain that a little bit more for the people?
Yeah, so there's two faraway trees and the way the two faraway trees are they're in different spots. So I know they played at the one that's a faraway tree that's a bottle tree. And there's multiple faraway trees, but there's another
Yeah.
bottle tree. Right? I
Yes.
should say the bottle trees. So one bottle tree is a faraway tree as well, and one bottle tree is just a bottle tree with nothing there. But I do think that you have to play at both of them because I do think they activate something. There's stuff in the bottles that has those dates that actually tie in all the cycles, I think, together. So by playing it, I think it would open up some type of a doorway or a portal or bring more things to light, like another Nkui moment where they would be able to possibly see how to get through, or they'd be able to reactivate the bottle faraway tree to work again.
I like that. I like that. I think it makes a lot of sense, right? Because when 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 they asked if she could go through the faraway tree, he didn't necessarily say no, right? Like he didn't say a flat out no. So there's possible that there's another way to use it, but they could have messed it up and have to find another way. I could see that too as well. Now Kenny has a conversation with Boyd, and they're talking about Jade's visions, and I like when Boyd was like, "Listen, man, if you had asked me this before I had these things in my skin and stuff like that, I would have probably said, boy, he's talking shit. You know what I mean? And that's what I'm saying. So, yes, Boyd did kind of go back at him, but I still think Boyd kind of maybe, you know what I mean, was at a crossroads, let's just say, right? A crossroads where in some ways he believes, in some ways he doesn't. So I do believe that. But then we hear that, Victor is on the roof. So Boyd goes up to the roof with Kenny and they have a conversation. And that's when he asks Victor if he knew or remembered anything about the man in yellow. And Victor said he would try to remember. What did you guys think about this scene?
I really like the scene. I'm kind of glad that Boyd actually had a chance to finally like approach Victor about some stuff that he knew because earlier on in the season, like only Henry wanted to talk to Victor, right? And because he thought
Hmm.
Boyd would go a little too hard on him. But I kind of like that Victor, even though Victor's got his like little quirks, like he was able to have a conversation with Boyd. They actually spoke and he was helpful. He didn't shut
Hmm.
down. He didn't like completely like close down. And Boyd also like handled him with, I guess, whatever kid gloves Boyd actually does have if he
Yeah.
has any, but he did handle him in a much softer, easier way than he normally would. So I kind of really liked it that they had an interaction. And I think that that's necessary because I do think that what Victor said about Henry is true. Like his father is not strong enough to handle this information right now.
Now, here's a question, all right? And it just came to mind now. Let's say we're correct where the man in yellow, the blood, is actually possessing Henry. Henry does some messed up thing. Victor's gonna think it's his fault for telling him, right? That may be an issue that kind of breaks Victor as well, where, oh, maybe I should have never told my father because now my father is running around doing these things, you know what I mean? So it's not
Right.
just a way to get Henry, it's also a way to break Victor too. That would be interesting. Hey Tamika, how you doing? Thanks for popping in. Now, one thing I'll say is we need to see more scenes of Boyd and Victor together. We
A
really need to
hundred
see more
percent.
scenes of this,
A
man.
hundred
Go ahead.
percent. I
Because
100%
that
agree.
because that's what I asked you guys last night. I was like, wait a minute, does Victor and like do they really have any scenes? You're like just that one scene with the gun and the goat and everything. But other than that,
Right.
yeah, they never really had any interactions. And I think these are the two best actors on the show right now. You know what I mean? So to have
Right.
them in a scene together and a few scenes together going forward is going to be really good. I think that's going to be fire. And like you said, Boyd knows he has to handle Victor differently, right? He can't just go in there and be like he is with Jade, all aggressive. And he even says it here. He's like, look, Victor, we're not going to ask you to do anything you don't want to do, right? He does the babying stuff to him. And I thought it was great. I thought it was
Right.
absolute great. You know, I really want to see them in more scenes.
Well, there's more to that scene for me.
Go ahead.
So I think it showed how Boyd has learned, because what he did is he talked before he talked
Kenny.
to Henry, he was talking to Kenny. He told Kenny, like, hey, I'm not holding things from you. I want to make sure this is understood right now. I'm not holding anything from you. I just had to have an opportunity to tell you, but I wanted to make sure now that I have this opportunity that I told you everything that I knew. This is something that he would never have done in the previous seasons.
100% agree.
We're seeing him trying to change his ways, understanding he has to adapt to certain things. I think that was a huge scene, and I think it was one of those things that I wanted to make sure, give you a hand clap, like you really did applause that you did a great job actually talking to Kenny and seeing Kenny as who he is. He is your connection to the town. Also, I would say this, the reason why you haven't seen a lot of Boyd and Victor together is because Victor fell under the calling town, which was under Donna's leadership. Boyd did not cross that line. When we first got there, in those first 96 days of them having that peace, Boyd did not cross the line. Donna handled her people. He handled the rest of the town. So that wasn't something that kind of got meshed in. Now that we're becoming one, and his love for Donna, his love for everybody is kind of being more known, this is the opportunity for Boyd to actually interact with more people than he has before.
Absolutely,
Well,
100%. They were
well,
very separate. You're right. Sorry.
they were at first, but they like it was like in episode 5 or something in season 1 where they started to get that connection too, right? So it's not like we had a whole season where they didn't start connecting. They actually started connecting in season 1, right? So
Even season 2, Donna said, "Hey, you take care of the town. Colony House is under my jurisdiction," and that's after the bus got there. Like, she said that. She still stated that thing, especially when
I think that was in season 1 though.
when Victor lost the peaches and all that stuff. Victor was still under her. She ran Colony House. This was before this is before the party they had.
Right.
Yeah,
Before
season 1.
Fatima's party.
Yeah.
This is before
Yeah.
Fatima's party. This is so during
In
all that
season
time,
1.
Donna still was running all this stuff.
Yeah, but that's
Going
season
forward.
1 though, not season
But,
2.
but when the bus came, she still said, "Colony House is mine. You still have the people in the town." And they had a choice. Everyone had choosing day, even
Yep.
for them, for the bus. So that was season 2.
No, we didn't see a choosing day for the bus people.
But they still had to choose which way they went. They
No,
town.
they
go
no,
Colony
they
House,
didn't.
right?
No, they didn't because they had the massacre and they just assigned people places. They didn't have
Yeah.
a choosing day. They had the massacre and they just assigned people places. You're gonna go Colin House. You're gonna go here. They didn't pick them, right?
Ever since ever since the massacre and like the huge herd of bus people that came in, they kind of just started like assigning people.
Put people
Yeah.
where they could be.
Right.
Yeah.
But you
Yeah,
are right.
so-
At one point, I
No,
think
it's-
there was a point during season
Yeah.
2 where
I'm
Donna
pretty sure
kind
season
of
2.
where Donna kind of tries to tell Boyd like, "Hey, I'm trying to run this house," because Boyd still wasn't staying there like he is now, right? Because that's more recent that he was staying there now, and that was only for the night.
He didn't even talk to Ellis until
And they-
Sarah did all that stuff. So like,
Right.
he wasn't allowed in there, and she said, "You're not allowed here. Why are you here?" So
Yes. And that was season 1 though, but then in season 2 there is a
Mm-hmm.
point where she tells Boyd like, "I can't do, like, you have to run there and this is mine, like the colony house is mine, you don't tell us what to do in here." And he's like, we have to make sure we do something to save whatever it is that they're doing, and she kind of goes along with it. So you see their bonds start to grow, and
Yeah.
each of them start to, like, kind of relinquish a little bit of their control to the other, realizing that they both kind of need to run things together and they can work together to make it happen.
I think they
Yeah,
started
yeah.
to depend on each other in season 3. They needed each other in season 3.
Yeah, for sure.
Well, I think season 3 is when they really got close, right? Because that's when they started. That's when Boyd started saying, "Listen," taking Donna to the side and telling her things. Actually, no, I think he did that in season 2. I'm not sure. I don't remember. I think the first time he told her something that like he was keeping a secret. I think it was in season 2, and I think once he opened up with that, that's when they started. And I believe in season 3 is when they really came together and was like, "Okay, we got to work together." And that's when because I think it took a while for Donna to actually trust Boyd in
Right.
everything he was doing, right? So I think that's where it
Yeah.
came from.
It
Plus,
wasn't until
yeah, go
season
ahead.
3. It wasn't until season 3 when Donna had her breakdown that you knew she finally was trusting Boyd.
Exactly.
Yeah,
Exactly.
yeah, 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 yeah.
So
And
that's
and
still
and
all the same point, right? That Boyd
Mhm.
wouldn't have time to talk to Victor, right? All of it's still in the same exact point that I've been trying to make, that he
Right.
wouldn't have had that opportunity to talk to Victor. That's
Never.
not what would have happened.
Yeah.
well, I love seeing Sarah and Julie interact. They set this up nicely in season 3. If I had
Yes.
only one, if I had only one episode I could watch again for the rest of my life out of these first 6 episodes, it would be episode 6, No Contest. That's
Ooh.
interesting.
Okay.
That's interesting. I don't know if that would be my episode to watch, but yeah, I could see that. Like I said, it wasn't a bad episode. So people saying it was a bad episode, kind of don't agree with that at all. At all.
Yes.
I haven't. Listen, I could be biased, but I haven't seen a bad episode from yet. I'm just saying. I'm just saying. So we get to Sarah. She meets up with Julie, and she's telling Julie, "I just wanted to say I'm sorry, and I didn't understand what you were going through, but I think I understand now." Sarah asks if they want to help paint the room for that bitch, which they're gonna they go paint the house for Sophie, and then we get to
It was an interesting color that she chose, the lavender. I know she didn't choose it. She didn't know what color was in the bin, but it was interesting that it turned out to be lavender.
Yeah. The idea of mystic, the color purple, what it actually does, the symbolism of purple. Yeah, I understand the lavender. Yeah.
Yep, the whole mystic thing. And then if you, besides it also being like a mystic magical color, if you go through periods of mourning, it's a
Hmm.
second period of mourning. And, like Julie's kind of coming out of her mourning stage. And when she had that whole conversation with Sarah about finally realizing that she probably won't be able to save her dad, that's definitely a different step than where she was when she was
hmm
freaking out that she had to save her dad. So you see, like, Julie's obviously moving through her own stages of grief, and that color was significant on top of it being the magic thing. So I thought that was really cool that they used that color.
Yeah. And then
absolutely.
him, after Randall kind of shut her down and said, "I'm no longer going to do this with you," she kind of was lost. Julie is lost, and the fact that Sarah's going to put her back on the path, because we already know that she's going to get to that point where she almost saves Jim, right? She's going
Right.
to get to that point.
Yeah, she's
She
telling
doesn't
that.
stop story walking, but it's funny that Sarah might be the person that actually gets her there.
Yeah, I think so too.
Yeah.
I think Sarah's gonna give her something or tell her something to make her, continue to do what she was doing. But yeah, I do agree with that.
I think Sarah's going to be the one that protects her and pulls her out. She's the
I
one that she's
agree.
going to trust.
I
I can
agree.
see that too. I can see that too. We get to Victor and Boyd and Kenny, and they're still talking about the man in yellow. He's telling them he was funny. Said he came in a big brown car, but he didn't really get much information after that, because Victor goes away or whatever. He doesn't really remember much still. But Donna comes and interrupts them and says, "Hey, Boyd, we need you to come out
Oh,
to this cabin over here." So they
yeah.
go out to the cabin over here, and they see a body.
He's like, "What the fuck is
And
this, Donna?
What is this, Donna?
Let me show you something to share." You walk in, he's like, "What the fuck is this? What the fuck
Who says
is
it? It says it just like that. Like, what the fuck, Donna?
they walk in. Yeah, they walk in, and
The fuck, Donna? Who's that?
I swear, when she said that's Roger, I wanted Boyd to say, "Who the fuck is Roger?" Right? We don't know who the fuck Roger is. We never,
NPC red shirt.
you know what
NPC
I
red
mean?
shirt.
I
Oh my
swore he was
god.
gonna say, "Who the fuck is
Was
Roger?"
Roger.
Who the fuck's Roger?
I don't know how else to say this, so I'm just gonna say it.
So she tells him the story, and they show us. Hold on, I see. I'm trying to get onto it.
And these, not just decorate, hacked by giant dolls. came out of the lake. Denise,
What the fuck? They look at you like, what the fuck? Did you hear the same shit I just heard?
I was trying to get to where they. Oh, there it is.
we found his body this morning.
He's the next dog.
Okay.
Yes.
So
But he becomes one of us.
first off, we said last night, when the hell did the creatures do this, right? Because we didn't see none of that. But I'm guessing they ran away or whatever, ran and hid, and that's when they did that. But we saw one get stabbed. We saw one with burning hands walk away. So it would have had to have been the third one that did that, right?
Right.
Yeah,
The one that actually killed him.
Is it Sally from the Nightmare Before Christmas? Like she had a needle and thread. And it was like, I got this real quick. You know, like, where'd you get this stuff from? Like, you got pockets? You got pockets?
Word.
You just
Did
got
they
stuff
take the
in-
buttons off their own eyes and put it on him? Like,
Off the
what?
dead one?
How did that happen?
Bruh,
They
Did
only
they-
had
that's
one
why-
arm to
Did
begin
they
with.
take it off the dead one and then go ahead and put it on him to make him turn into them? So because there always has to be three.
Yeah, that's another.
So here's the thing. That's what I'm gonna say, right? Why the hell did you bring that back to town?
That's what I'm saying. We were talking about that last night. I'm like, why would you bring that back? And then not for nothing, if you know them totems could kill it, why wouldn't you just stab him for good
I
measure?
would have loved if
Exactly.
he heard what they said and he said, "All right, stab."
And then why would you, just in case it wants to reanimate, why would you leave the body next to the only fucking weapon that could kill it, which now you can't get to if it reanimates? Why would I would be
Exactly.
sleeping? You saw they brought back like 5 or 6 of them totems. I'd be like, boy, did you get a totem? Sleep with that bitch.
Yes.
Ellis, you get a totem, sleep with that motherfucker.
Yes.
Tabitha, you keep one too.
I'm
Like, I
not
would've
giving.
passed
Whoa,
them out
whoa,
like
whoa, whoa,
talismans.
whoa, pause. We're not giving it to Ellis. We're not giving it to Ellis. No, come on.
You know what? I hear what you're saying. Until Ellis was kind of the hero in the last episode, right?
Dude, he's still
Ellis-
gonna be drunk and high and trying to look. If I was him, I'd be trying to do what I'm doing. We trying for baby number 2. I don't care. So like,
You are
You don't
good.
give it to do. He don't do nothing. He don't
Well,
do nothing.
honestly, Ellis hasn't been drinking since he got stabbed, so we can cut the drunk part out, right? They haven't showed him drinking. No, I'm not saying he doesn't. They haven't shown him
He
drinking.
didn't
since
show him
then.
do nothing. He had one good day. Now he's trying to give him all the credit. He had one good day.
Yeah. Listen, I'm gonna give him that one good day because we gave Sarah some props for her one good day too, as well,
Sarah had-
right?
Sarah had a
You know
couple
what I
good
mean?
days, man. Sarah put her hand. She's done a couple things.
Yeah, but we gave her the pass when she did the first thing, right? We were like, okay, yeah, Sarah's getting the pass. So I'm going to give Ellis a pass right now. We're going to see. Plus, you got to give him another pass for supporting his wife because that's something I said I wasn't going to do, right?
Yeah.
You said you're going to do. So we got to give him another pass for that one too, right?
I'm doing that. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm just saying, I would have been like, Ellis, I ain't trying to do
you need
this
to
shit.
support your wives, okay? I'm a wife. You need to
100%.
support your wife.
Hey,
Yes.
I'm with that. You know, I'm with
Yes.
it. Yeah.
Yes, I get that. But sometimes we gotta tell the wife, hey baby, this isn't something smart. This is stupid. You know what I mean? I'm trying to support you, yes, but this is stupid. All right?
That's that. I pick my battles. If he even stupid, we'll do it a little bit.
No, you definitely 100% gotta pick your battle.
Whatever.
If it ain't worth arguing about, we ain't arguing about it. But that Gollum is something that we gonna have to have a discussion about. You know what I mean? We definitely gonna have to talk about that motherfucker. I'm sorry, but there's one thing about this, right? And we get the spears, so we find out that the spears killed the scarecrow creature. They brought the seers back into the town. Boyd remembers that Martin told him this is just the tip of the spear, right? And now we have spears in the town. Now, I said last night that I think these spears are more than just being able to stop. I don't think they can kill the creatures because they're immortal, but they can stop the creatures. And I believe those spears are going to come into serious play going forward. Go ahead.
I like that. I like that it might be actually used as something else because we've never seen the nightmare creatures over there at all, right? So it definitely could have more significant meaning. And I do like the connection that like Patri and Boyd had that you just made about the tip of the spear. But again, I don't understand why, if they're going to come into play, they just leave them in the shed. I would be bringing them into the house and they'd be sleeping with them, especially if they are going to have some more significance. And they might actually represent the people like in the town that have gone out, if there are people that have gone out from before.
Absolutely. Listen, I'm right through. I would have tied some string to each end and had that shit strapped to my back like a ninja sword, and I am not leaving the house without that thing. Nowhere. Because you
I don't
got
know what Anzo was
Scarecrow.
talking about. Anzo would not be outside.
Oh, no, 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 no.
He'll
Hold
be
on, hold on.
drunk and high
Hold on,
on the
hold on, hold
couch
on. No,
chilling.
no, hold on. Hold on. You are correct about that, sir. But I know sooner or later I'm gonna have to get into some action, right? So we fighting over that spear. If there's two, Anzo's getting one. You know what I mean? Like, no, okay, we're gonna get one spear. Boy gets one, and Donna, no, Donna does not get the other one. No, Kenny does not get the other one. Anzo gets the other one. But you don't do nothing. You just sit on this couch. That's correct. So I'm getting the spear, and that's bottom line. There's no doubt about that. You know what I mean? Daryl said, "I love Ellis." Yeah, you love Tabitha too, and we know how that goes too, right? So it's not really saying much, Daryl. I love the Ellis and Fatima scene, so sweet and wholesome.
I
Yeah.
think so. I think that's what you're supposed to do. And I think that was for a young man, because he's very young still in the show. He's, 22, 21, 22 years old. For you
Right.
to have that forethought and to realize that you need to just support her after what she's been through, smart. That's what I'm saying. Big ups to that. I'm still not giving you a spear because you'll still do shit. But hey,
Wow, Brian's a hard one, boy. It's like, nah,
bro, I have no
nah,
problem.
nah,
Look,
get
I
in
will be
there.
very much like that. Look, I'm gonna be doing what I could do every day. While y'all try to figure out. Call me when you got a plan. But until then, I ain't gonna be doing nothing.
You see,
I
go
just
ahead,
want to
Jen.
say, y'all want to keep the spear away from Ellis. I'm down with that, but I know you giving one to Fatima because bitches get shit done.
Okay, I got you. I'll accept that one 100%.
If
But
she got away from
Kenny's
Elgin, she'll get it. But when she didn't get away
but
from Elgin, she didn't give him a little juke. Nah, I couldn't.
but Kenny's not getting one because Kenny has to die. All right, so I'm just saying that right away.
Oh,
Kenny gets no fear. Kenny has to die. I'm not giving Kenny nothing. No, 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 no. Kenny, you're going out there on your own, bro. Sorry. All right, so we see that they stitched up his mouth. They put the little buttons over his eyes, sewed them in. Um, do you think that this is going to come into play?
hell fucking yeah. Sophia gonna whisper sweet little nothings. I just told the nerdy as fuck thing. They're gonna whisper sweet little nothings to it in its ear, and that shit's gonna reanimate. It's gonna walk right the fuck or smash right through one of the walls of Colony House. Them talisman ain't gonna do shit, and it's gonna freak them all out. And I think that's why, which we're gonna get to, like Bacta, Randall, and I think there's a reason why like Randall got bought to Colony House. I think that's setup scene, and I think it's a setup scene for episode 7 where we're gonna see him get reanimated, and that'll either be episode like towards the end of episode 7, so we'll actually see some action with him, or it'll be like the cliffhanger and it'll be the drama into episode 8.
And that's what
Big-
Randall's the person I'll get a spear to.
Yeah,
There
hell
we go.
yeah. Randall's mad helpful.
Yeah, you know what? Randall could definitely get a spear because
Oh, yeah.
Randall is the only one, even though he's an asshole, he has jumped into the cave. Like anytime someone needed help, Randall was there, right?
Yep,
So
mad
it's kind
helpful.
of yeah, it's kind of messed up that they do Randall so badly, like the rest of the people in town, when Randall has helped them more than people actually know. You know what I mean? He's just
I
a
mean,
dick
he did
about
also
it.
tie up Donna and try to leave it for.
No, I
for
get
Dad,
that.
too.
I get
So,
that.
like,
100%. Yeah. No, I get
He's
that.
just like
I
everybody.
get that.
Everyone got little some stuff. Whatever.
No, I get that 100%. But he has been helpful too, right? I think that was in the beginning. He was kind of he's still a dick throughout the whole series. He's been 100% an asshole.
Yeah,
But he has put his shit on the line for people, you know.
Yeah, he was the first one to jump off, like when they were off the bus and the house collapsed, and they were like, "I have to go find my dad." He was the first one that was like, "Let's go." And Bacta was like, "No, we got to
Yeah,
schedule we got people to help."
yeah.
He's like, "Come on, lady." He like left and like took people with him. Granted, Brick died, but he like grabbed up people to come help. He's always mad helpful, but you're right. He's a dick. He's a straight asshole.
Absolutely. So we brought up Batha. She hasn't done much in this season. Does Batha die?
No, I hope not.
They gotta eat.
Yeah, they gotta eat. I also think Bacta still is gonna drop some wisdom. Like we saw her drop a little gem to kind of like give like Sarah back some hope. We see her bring like she's in the setup scene to bring Randall to Colony House. So I definitely think that, and she helped out with the they come this 3 and whatever that little rhyme was. So I do think that she's still gonna drop some information and knowledge. I don't think that she's done with just yet. I hope not.
We
Anyway,
also
I
had
love Bacta.
Randall and Elgin. Randall and Elgin, but both helping, doing stuff. This You need someone like that that's going to demand of you to say this is what you're going to do.
I ain't
Yes, we
giving
need an occupational therapist for all the injured people.
I ain't giving Elgin no life. You better peel some potatoes or something. But you ain't putting they're not putting no hands on no knife, all right? Take that potato peeler and peel some potatoes, but don't you touch that knife. you
You,
know?
you think
Fuck Elgin.
Doctor? You think that Elgin has a problem with using a knife? I mean, with the depth perception, he only got one eye.
Yeah, good
Oh,
point. Good point. He can't see on the left side of his body, you know what I mean? So yeah, you can still
wow.
sneak up on him.
Wow.
As you guys know, we don't like Elgin. We don't like Elgin. Elgin has put black people back centuries. All right,
A hundred
we,
percent.
you know,
100%.
you know what I mean. We ain't doing that. Said no. Take Bata and leave Donna. Ooh,
Donna's already gone. She got 1 foot in the grave. We'll get to that, but she got one
yeah,
foot
we
in the
will.
grave.
Yeah, we'll get into that.
We will. Because I'm curious to know if you guys think that, it's one of those ones where she'll survive or if it's like, just like, we get to talk to her a bit before she passes away or whatever. Because
You think this Daredevil? Okay, I got you.
yeah, you know what I
Yeah.
mean? Yeah, you know what I mean?
Yeah, like Vanessa. Yeah,
Yeah, you know what I mean? Something like that kind of thing, right? And they kind of trick you, like, to make it seem like she's okay at the end of this episode, and then we find out something happens in the next episode. I don't know. I want Donna to live, though. You guys know that already, right? So I just hate the fact that I may have to do it, but yeah. So then we get to Elgin, not Elgin, sorry, Ellis,
Ellis.
who's talking to his wife, and he's talking to her about the golem, and listen, man. I'm sorry, but that thing looks creepy as hell, bro. You couldn't.
why is the head gotta be tilted? I
That's
feel
what
like
I'm saying.
like in the or no, in Widow's Bay, right? When the wife's head is tilted. Like anytime somebody's got their head tilted and they're looking catatonic at you or just still, like no, no,
That's what
no,
I'm
there's
saying, bro.
something
Hey,
wrong.
listen,
No.
listen. There was one night I was trying to get some sleep. Right, I kind of passed out on my couch, right, but I felt like these two things jump on me, and I jumped up. I was like, "What the?" And then my cat ran around the corner, and my cat scared the shit out of me. Now I'm thinking about waking up groggy one night, be like, "Oh," and you open your eyes, and that's the first fucking thing you see. That scared the shit out of me, bro. I'm like, what the fuck? I don't want to be around that.
Oh, I mean, you're already in Fromville. I mean, it is what it is. It's par for the course. And when you wake up and you see you next to a beautiful woman, you're like, yeah.
So Donna's gonna have an Avengers comeback. I hope so. I hope so. You know what I mean? Yeah, go ahead.
I was say I hope so too, but I like what Fatima how she explains it to Ellis, just like kind of like she explained it earlier, like
Yeah.
Daryl said in episode 4, like it's hope, but she gives like a really good example, right? She gives the Golem of Prague. So if you research what that is in the
Exactly.
16th
Yeah.
century, right,
Golem
and
of Prague.
actually where the remains of the golem is now, the Golem of Prague, it's in an attic.
It's an attic. Yeah, it is.
In an
Yeah.
attic in a temple. And when I found that research, I was like, oh my gosh, I thought it was great. And then the way it was animated, I know I've been asking this on the stream earlier. I'm like, how the hell she's gonna animate it? So it tells you how the rabbi actually animated it, and it's with. There's two ways, but one of them is with a piece of paper, a special parchment
put it
paper
in
that
you put it
the
in the
mouth.
mouth.
And we already see like parchment paper being written on and put in bottles. So it
Yeah.
makes very likely sense that she might actually put something into its mouth. And the way it looks, like it doesn't have much form, but you can see where like the mouth is and the face. So
Yeah, yeah.
that's how I think she's gonna wind up animating it, or at least attempting to. The only thing is that golem.
What's the story? Yeah, the story of the Golem of
Right.
Prague.
So So they built it, or they constructed it. A rabbi did with 2 assistants to help defend their town and their people against persecution and people that were coming in and just killing them and ransacking the village. So they built the golem and they read Emet, which means truth, on the forehead, and then they put the parchment paper in with a special incantation in the mouth. But because you can't do any work or anything on the Sabbath, every Friday night the rabbi would take the paper out and the golem would kind of like go to sleep and just like knock out, and then every Sunday put the paper back in the mouth, and then it would defend them. So the story goes that one Friday the rabbi was late, And because the rabbi was late, the golem wound up changing its whole attitude and wound up going around and started destroying, and got very angry and started like destroying the town. And somehow the rabbi was able to get it and get the paper out, and when it did, it crumbled into dust. So they were able to re-sculpt it, and they put it in the attic, and that was the end of it, because there was no guarantee that it wouldn't ever get angry like that again.
Exactly.
What the problem was that it became so powerful. It became more powerful than anything else in an entire town. It was more powerful. They couldn't control it without taking that paper out. So that's the issue. Though this might work, it might be positive for her for now, but eventually it could turn on her and become too powerful and then hold her there. I don't want you to go.
Right.
You're connected. Because once you connect to that golem, you're connected forever.
Right.
And could that hold them there?
Interesting. Episode 4 talks. Fatima talks about the golem being hope and power. Then in episode 5, she talks about seeing Smiley. Feels like they are setting up Golem and Smiley fight.
Yeah,
I hope so.
Gollum will rise and be her champion. Yeah, but I do think, like you guys said, that it may start off that way, but it may not end being her champion. You know what I mean?
No, they might connect her to she can't leave. I think that's what she won't. She might not be able. Like they might have a force field around it. She can't leave without the golem.
Interesting.
That would be really interesting. And she might not be able to then take the golem with her, which might actually anchor her there as well, which ties back to your theory. And then Ellis, there's no way Ellis would leave because we know Boyd's not making it out of the series. So I could see that completely setting up for your theory to be true. Absolutely. But I do think that if the golem's going to rise and be her champion, it would work. I think it might actually defeat Smiley. But I think in the From world, in order to speed up the story of the golem, and we've seen time move so quickly, like with Fatima's pregnancy, I think like once the fight is over, it's either going to turn right there and then, or they're going to wake up to some destruction like that very next day. I don't think it'll take like long time like it does in the actual Prague, but I do think I think it'll rise up to be a champion, and then it'll turn on them right after.
Same, 100%. I agree with you. I really don't think. I think it's gonna help, but I do think it's gonna be like a nightmare. You know what I mean? And end up being something because it's Fromville. You know what I mean? Right. We got to remember, Fromville gives you hope because it feeds off of people's hopes and then takes it away. You know what I mean? So it gives you a hope that you're going to be able to succeed and do it, and then you find out that, it takes that hope away. So I could see that being, Fatima's hope, and it works, and then boom, the golem goes and it takes that hope away. We get back to Vic. Yeah, go ahead.
I'll say another theory is instead of the golem fighting Smiley, which I would love, we now know the ragdoll Roger or Ragger is going to probably come back. So what if the golem winds up taking out Roger?
I could see that. But I mean, I wouldn't be scared of Roger because we took care of them scarecrows. So
what if he's just one of three? If all three of them attack them, and then the golem goes against all three of those things.
Yeah, that's true. Or it could be the golem takes out Smiley, and then the twist is that it winds up joining the ragdolls to like attack Fatima on them, and it turns on them. It could be that too. I don't know. There's a lot of possibilities because now we have we've got 3 things on top of 3 things on top of just From. Right, we have 3 ragdolls we have to worry about, right? On top of a golem, Smiley, and the ragdolls. All obviously the scenes are setting up where it's going to be either back to back or all at the same time.
Absolutely. And we still have Martin saying that there's other things in here to be worried about, right? Now, there's one thing about that scene, like because we predict Spider and everything, but there's one thing about that scene is where, he says they are coming. He wasn't talking about the creatures because I already said that there's something worse than the creatures. So he said they are coming, not it's coming, they are coming. So I think there's other things there that we still haven't gotten an answer to yet. I don't know. What do you guys think? Do you have any speculation on that?
The only speculation I have isn't really so much speculation. I do think that there's more out there, but there was a casting call when they did the casting call for Sophia for season 4, right shortly after they did a casting call for an older woman to play a colonial lady, which we didn't see anything about that in the credits or in the trailer or seen any pictures about that at all. But they did have a open call and they wanted her to be very like scary looking and old looking and could pass for a colonial woman. So if you're talking about a they, I don't think the man in yellow is I think that he might have a partner. We've seen a lot of partners, and there's a lot of balance in this show, right? Especially if we're talking about a lot of duality. So I would think that if he's the man in yellow, there's gonna have to be a woman in something, and there's a boy in white, and that could be their child. But we see a lot of stuff with parents, a lot of partnerships. So I do think that they might be the man in yellow and the woman in whatever.
You know what? That makes sense
Lady
because
in red.
I was just
bro, I was just
that.
about to say that. I was just about to say that. But it's funny. It's funny because that Martin scene, obviously, to Martin's perspective or to Boyd's perspective, is the past, right? So it's
Right.
definitely possible that there is a family type of thing, and that's what was coming, the family. So the man in yellow, maybe in his true form, his wife, and maybe the
You
boy in
saw it at the
white.
opening. You saw it at
Yeah.
the opening. You see it in the pictures.
Yeah, 100%. Because they keep showing that picture with the dude, the wife, and the dog, right?
Hmm.
Right.
And we don't know who that is yet. And I've always said I believe that's like the man in yellow's family or whatever. You know what I mean? So I think it's something like that that goes on with that. I just can't wait to get some of these answers because even though they're giving us little ones, there's certain questions that like the Martin stuff they still haven't answered yet. So I'm excited to see where they go with that. I just hope it's not one of those things where they said that, but then they change it, and it's not really like a bunch of people or whatever. I don't know. I just hope it's not like that. So, but we get to Victor and Ethan. Ethan walks into the room. He asks if he could stay on this thing. We see some pictures here. The Lake of Tears is one of them. And I can't make out the other ones, but I know, Jen, you said you were going to look at the picture. Oh, one of them
You see
is,
that the monster or whatever
is the
that thing
monster.
is
Yeah.
a monster? Is it a doll? Is it a golem? What is that right there?
Mhm.
You see at the edge of the desk.
Right
Well,
at the very
to
top
me,
of the edge.
to me, that kind of looks like the picture we looked at the beginning, except there's no blood in the eyes and mouth.
Yep.
It
Could
kind
that
of
be the
looks like
woman
the
that you
same
guys
thing.
are talking about right now?
Possible, possible. Jen, were you able to break down the pictures? Were you able to get a better look at them?
Yes. So you see, remember I told you guys about the fishbowl theory that I have?
Mm-hmm.
So the fishbowl drawing is on the left, and then you have that girl picture that's up on the top, which I do have screenshots of. So yeah, so where Victor's hand is, right past that, you can see the color behind his hand is that fishbowl. Then you have
Okay.
that it looks like I can't tell because it's definitely not the ragdoll monsters, but it's a scary girl face, like almost like a
Mm-hmm.
doll face, but it's like a full face. And then you have these are blood drops. That's what that they're literally drops of blood, and then that's black background, and then he's drawing a car, and then you have a chimney, right? And the
Yeah.
chimney has fire coming out of it. And that's all you can
Okay.
see.
Hmm. Interesting. Okay. Okay.
And
Did
if it's not a chimney, then it's the
lighthouse?
tower, right? Or
Yeah.
not, it looks like the tower, but there's
Tower.
fire coming from the bottom of it, like where you would walk in through the door.
Fire. Cool
Hmm.
nerd. Fire.
I like that. I like that very much. Let's see what we have here. Said if Fatima and Ellis are Adam and Eve, then Smiley is Cain and the Golem is Abel. Both came from Fatima, which means Smiley would win.
I love that.
Yeah, that's
That's
fire.
fire. Yeah, that's
I,
fire. I love it, Corey. That was
ho-
amazing.
hopefully Smiley don't win though, but yeah, I like it too. Said I love that Ethan tells Victor what happened, even though Victor didn't tell Ethan what happened. Love the Ethan and Victor scene so much. I
Yeah.
think it was a great scene too as well. And you could tell Victor was trying to protect Ethan, right? Because he's
Yeah.
like, "Oh, I told my father, didn't do right." And then Ethan comes, he starts to draw a picture, and then Ethan tells him about well, there's a better look at the pictures. Let me see if I can zoom in there. Okay. So yeah, so there looks like a person, looks like a woman. Yeah,
Yeah.
100%.
If I send you the picture, can you bring it up?
Absolutely.
Oh yeah, so I have the picture. It's the one.
Okay.
I send it to you right now.
Cool. You're sending what's up?
Yeah, I'm gonna send it on WhatsApp.
Okay. Cool. Thoughts about what Victor is not Victor, Ethan is drawing there.
Exactly. Well, what do you think that Ethan is drawing with that
Ethan.
monster?
It looks like he's drawing the scarecrow monster when he's all said and done. I think he's drawing one of the scarecrow monsters that he just saw.
Which
Right?
makes sense because he's talking about what's going on, what actually happened. He's telling him about the entire thing. We had these monsters come and get him. Could it be the dolls? Could it be those things? It could be any of this stuff. So, but it's a picture that's going to matter at the end. We know that.
I agree. I think it is the scarecrow monsters too that he was trying to draw there. It makes sense since he's talking the story. Plus, look at the hand. How the hand is a little bit darker. You don't see any fingers or anything on there. So I definitely think it was a scarecrow monster there. But this was a great scene. I love to see them have that conversation. Victor and Ethan are going to be very important going forward. Now we have this bitch. She walks into the police station and she sees Henry there. And Henry, now, she says, do you know where the sheriff is? Do you believe she's really looking for Boyd?
No, she peeped Henry through the window and
Walking in
saw him
there,
with the suit and was like, I guess I can go fuck with him.
Absolutely, 100%. And
I
that's
sent it to
exactly
you, by
what
the
she
way.
did. Yeah, okay, I'm gonna bring them up. Hold on.
But yeah, she purposely went and fucked with him. And when she didn't get him to bite because he tried to like peace out and was like too much in his own head and had like no interest in talking to her, her ass fucking stalked him and followed him to the bar.
Mm-hmm.
He let it. I don't care, Henry. You did it. You should know better.
Yeah, because he's an alcoholic. That's why. Because the minute there was alcohol involved, he's like, all right, at least I'm where I want to be. So whatever, you can just stay here. He would have
Mm-hmm.
listened to her any place else. He would have walked away. But because they were in the bar, and she knew that was his soft spot. That's exactly where she went and got him.
I thought that she said.
Yep.
Sophia said one of the best lines in the entire episode when she said, "It's crazy how you have a gas station in a place that you can't get out of."
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I thought that was phenomenal.
Absolutely,
Yep.
100%. All right. Give me 1 second. I'm gonna
That
try
was
and
Henry that said that, right? I think
Henry
that
that
was
said it,
Henry
yeah.
that
Yeah.
responded back to that responded back to
She's talking
Sophia.
about the gas station. Yeah.
Yeah, she's like,
Yeah.
why would there be a bar and a gas station? And Henry's like, better question. And I was like, smart. He's so smart. And he's sober at that
Absolutely.
moment. But then he starts drinking and it all falls to shit for him.
Jen, you are the best with the pictures. I appreciate it. So we have the first one we looked at. We have Victor. Oh, I see. Oh, you got a real good close up look at that one. Okay. Because
You
I'm
see
trying to
that
look at the one underneath. Yeah, go
you
ahead.
see there's like a chimney right there, like right above the
Yeah.
paper between their hands. That's
There's
like the
fire.
chimney. There's fire coming out of it. So I'm assuming that's the bottom of it. And that it so if we're looking at it upside down, that's probably where you walk into the chimney and it comes out on the top. I'm trying to find out if we've seen that image somewhere before in this show.
Was
Yes.
there a chimney in the dungeon when Martin?
No, not that I
Well,
remember.
it wasn't really a chimney, but it
It
was
was
like
something because we had lights,
yeah.
right?
You're
Yes.
talking about what Boyd was locked in, right?
Yeah,
That was a
exactly.
Yeah.
well. Yeah, that
Yeah.
was a
Well,
well.
yeah.
He was in the well, but I'm saying like there's light there, so I was wondering if we looked around there what we would see. But
All
yeah,
right, when you flipped it the other way, not that I'm not loving from, but tell me that doesn't look like freaking balloons and it's like Welcome to Dairy season 2.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. For real. For
Fucking
real.
well, it looks like red balloons. I'm just saying.
For real. If Pennywise is gonna pop up and do a little dance, I gotcha. All right. So that's when he's at the door. We have that one, and then you got this
Yeah,
one.
you have to zoom in.
Yeah,
So you see,
there we
there's
go.
the fish. There's the fishbowl image all the way to the left. That's the one that
Right
I
there.
got my
Yeah.
very right. And then you see that face, and I'm like, it doesn't really. I don't know if you could turn it around.
Yeah.
So like I'm like trying to look at it because that's how I had it. I flipped it upside down like that, and I'm like, I don't know if it's really a rag doll like
I was
the
looking at
scarecrow,
some woman, an old woman.
or if it could be an older woman, which is why I was bringing
Mhm.
up the casting call that we just haven't seen yet, like an old scary woman.
So, do you think it's well, no, because he asked him if he came to town by himself, and Victor said yes. Do you think it's possible maybe Victor's not remembering properly and he didn't come to town alone?
No,
Yeah, I'm not sure if he is or not. I know that Victor's memory is unreliable, but if he just saw the pastor and didn't think to like transform into Sophia, like let's just say, he might have just killed the driver and tossed the body
Mm-hmm.
out of the car and kept
Mm-hmm.
driving.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Because I feel like when he came into the town as the man in yellow, of course he came with the pasture, right? But Victor said he was driving the car. I still question Victor's memories right now. I have a
Right.
feeling like he's gonna draw something and remember more, that there's more to the man in yellow than just him coming in town alone. You know what I mean?
Right.
Maybe he came in town with a dead body, like he did in the original, and that's the dead body, right?
Oh, that's a good one. Yes, could be that too.
So
Yeah,
that's interesting. I like that. Thanks for the pictures, Dan. You absolutely amazing for that.
no problem.
All right. Back to this Henry. Now, Henry did the right thing. She came in, she asked him a question. Henry said, F that, and bounced. All right. I was like,
Oh, wait.
bravo.
Pause. Look what Daryl just wrote in the
yeah.
chat.
Did you guys see that? I don't like
You're
what.
lying. I need to look this up
Which,
right now. Don't tell me that shit
which
again.
one? Which one?
That there's another 2 week break in between episodes 8 and 9. Casa tu padre, no me
Guys,
diga.
turns out there is another 2 week break between episodes.
Hold
Wait,
on.
what?
No, there's not. I'm looking at
I'm
it.
looking at it
No,
right
there's
now.
not. Come on. It says right now, episode 7, June 7th, episode 8, June 14th, episode 9, June 21st.
That's a wait. Okay, no, that's not a break. Okay. Whew. No, there's
That's
not.
what, no, that looks like exactly the same as usual. Unless I'm seeing something on a different site. Maybe you see something. I don't see another 2 week break. But you can't be doing that to me, man.
There better not be no another 2 week break.
You
That
can't be doing
just
that to
me
me.
off. Yeah. Where did you hear that,
No,
Daryl?
he
Let
says
me
he's
know.
got us.
Huh?
Gotcha.
Bro,
No.
why are you coming on here trolling, right? Last week you're all on me telling me about I'm the dead weight of the show. Now you're coming on here trying to give us heart attacks by telling us that we got
Right.
a 2 week break from.
Yeah, why you do that to me? I saw that and I stopped the whole chat.
Me
Yeah, I
too.
know,
I did
right?
too.
I know,
I was
right?
typing.
Come
I
on.
saw it. I was typing away. I was like,
Me too.
Man, and I was in my zone too. I was going in, and then Daryl was like, "Hey guys, check this out." All right, Daryl, I feel you.
Yeah.
Ban Daryl for giving us heart attacks. Facts, bro. So as I was saying before, I was rudely interrupted, Daryl. I think Henry did the right thing. You know what I mean? She was like, "Oh, your name's Henry, right?" Daryl said, "Yeah, what the?" And then bounced. Right? He was like, "F that, I'm getting out of here." Right? So he bounced. He didn't want nothing to do with her. Then he gets to the bar, and he still kind of has nothing to do with her until she gives her little, "Oh, well, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to pry." "Oh, I didn't mean to be rude." And that's when I was like, "You damn fool. You damn fool. What are we doing here?" What did you guys think about Sophie's manipulation with Henry?
I was not surprised that she was able to manipulate him here at the bar because clearly that's what his focus is on the alcohol and the liquor, and he didn't have that same mentality when he was in the sheriff's station when he dealt with her. So I
Mm-hmm.
knew that this was definitely his weak spot, and that's what Sophia does. She finds your weakness and goes after it, and just uses it. So I wasn't surprised once they were in the bar and we saw the scene. Like if he's drinking, anybody can get to him. Like he's just not a
100%.
good person when he drinks.
100%. And he asked her how old she is before he pours her a drink. And she says, "Well, I'm old enough to bury my father and old enough to grieve." And he said, "Yeah, good point." And then gave her some alcohol. And then they start to bond over some alcohol. We get
that
to
sounds like very, very problematic, guys. I don't know if you guys understand what an older man with a younger girl drinking and sitting there and the alcohol's involved. That's very problematic. I don't know how everyone's just passing over that like it's okay because he's an alcoholic. Nah, bro, you can't just do that. Look, I would never go drinking with a woman half my age. So you talk about she's a fifth of his age. What are we talking about? Like, she can't drive, and he's talking about let's go drinking together. Hear me? This is your fault. When you die, I'm just gonna laugh at you.
Word, that's on some predator like shit. It is. I know we don't look at it that way because we know the context of everything here, but any outsider looking in would look at it like it's a Dateline special.
100%.
To catch a predator.
Exactly. Catch a predator. This was like Law and Order SVU. This is how it started off right there.
Henry is in a dark place. Let's give him a free pass. I don't know about that one.
You don't get free passes, man. That's not what happens. You don't get those things.
Yeah, no.
Nerdman said, "Yo, that's some pedo shit. That's what I was thinking. She's like 14 at best, bro." 100%.
100%.
He's like, "Hey, 15-year-olds, let's go drink." What?
I would have been like, "Nah, I ain't pouring you this. I can't stop you from doing what you want to do, but I'm not gonna be the one to give it to you." And he did. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, what are you doing here? No, bro, you can't be doing that. Nah, that don't work. But she's creepy anyways. I don't like that bitch. I keep saying it and I keep saying it again. That's how you know she's a great actress. I don't want anybody to think that I don't like her as an actress. She's a great actor because she makes me hate her. I freaking hate her. You know what I mean? And the way she talks, like, it's like, oh yeah, well, and the little pauses and stuff, it's great. It's very manipulating. I can see it. I have no manipulation when I see it, and you can tell this woman as the master at manipulation because she is doing a hell of a job, bro.
Oh yeah.
Victor was right when he said that his dad isn't strong like his mom. Yeah, you're correct, and which brings me back to maybe that's why Miranda left without him, because she knew he wasn't strong enough. You know what I mean? So I like that.
Let's also talk about Tabitha and Jim. You gotta remember, Tabitha was getting ready to leave Jim, even though she was 100% in the wrong. She was gonna leave Jim too. So if they didn't go on this trip, whatever, Tabitha would have ended up in my opinion, she would have ended up in From by herself. And guess what? She would have died.
Like
she would have
Miranda.
died without it. Exactly.
Yes, 100%. I think Jim being there is the changing factor as to why she didn't die like Miranda did. You know what I mean? I agree with you 100%.
Yeah.
Now, let's go let's go with yet. Because she could die and come back as a spirit and help that way. Okay, fine. You know what I mean? I'll be good with that, Yes, Daryl, I want Tabitha. You know what? That's who I should have predicted to die this season just to piss you off. I should have said it was Tabitha. I think I'm going to change from Victor to Tabitha. Why you say fifth is age while he's getting drunk off of fifth?
I love that.
Just saying.
Yeah, these actors are amazing. Hopefully, From will lead them to great opportunities. I hope so too.
For real.
I hope so too. You know what I mean? I want to see them in other stuff. Because I thought the actors in From were great in the show, but when you go and look at which ones actually went on to do other stuff, it's not many. You know what I mean? And I kind of worried about that being with this show, especially with the fact that we're only getting
Lost.
Lost, yeah, sorry, Lost, yeah. You know what I mean? Like when I watched that show, I loved all the actors in that show, and
you have to be careful about being typecasted.
Yes, 100%. So
I mean,
they start drinking. Yeah.
Go
ahead.
I was gonna say Harold's from Lost. Harold's been on so many things. Harold's been on Lost, The Matrix, back in the day. So I mean,
Best Man, come on.
Yeah, The Best Man. He's been in so many things. He was in the was it Romeo and Juliet back in the day? Like he's been in shit. So hopefully like people won't get typecasted and we'll get to see some of them. I know Miranda went and did a movie. Wasn't there like a movie on like Prime or Netflix with her not so long ago?
Yeah, the one with Ben Affleck.
Not Miranda, I meant Tabitha. Yeah, whatever.
Yeah, the one with Ben Affleck.
But I mean, still right. Miranda, Tabitha.
Yeah, that's
yeah. And it's funny too because when I was watching that, I was like, that chick looks familiar. I kept saying like she looks familiar. I'm like, where do I know this girl from? And then there was the one episode where they were all sitting down and they were talking, and I said, fucking Tabitha. You know what I mean? Like right just like that. I was like, fucking Tabitha. It just hit me, you know? Yeah, she's great. The girl in yellow is almost as evil as you, Anzo. Nah, I'm a little bit eviler, nerd man. Especially when I'm about to block your ass from commenting on my stream. They can see how evil I am, all right? But yeah, no. I think the actors are great. I think they're doing a great job. You know what I mean? Like all of them. I like it. So now we get back to Donna, Tabitha, Boyd, Kenny, and they're talking about. What are you talking about here? The cicadas. Oh, so
About
this is where
The
the
ragdoll.
dreams,
the dreams.
dreams of the
The
dead
red
showing
dog.
up in the forest.
Right. And Donna kind of freaks out, right? She's like, well, how do we tell the people now? There's all these things, and now you have to worry about people's dreams. And again, I think this is kind of one of those situations where they told the story, but they didn't tell the whole thing, right? Because it's like, no, it's people's dead dreams, right? And it's probably shit that we've been actually dealing with since we've been here. We just never
talking about-
realized it was
Remember-
manifestations of dead people. You know what I mean?
Cicadas, where did the
Yeah.
cicadas come from, and all the other stuff is all from someone else's nightmares. So what
Yeah.
they feared.
Yeah, exactly. So again, this is another case of telling the story but not telling it completely, whatever. But Donna flips out, she leaves the room, and then boom, she has her heart attack.
Donna. Oh, hey, Donna.
Kid you not. I was like, fucking Daryl. When this scene happened, he said, fucking Tabitha. Yeah, absolutely. He said, Kenny with season 2 callback. Yeah, absolutely. But you were the one I thought about when I seen this scene because I was like, oh, no, it is Donna. I was like, damn. But my favorite stuff about this scene was Boyd's reaction to Donna. What happened to her? You know
I'm
what I
gonna
mean?
give you permission to die.
Yeah. And I want to talk about that. Do you
Go
think
ahead.
do you think that Boyd can manifest things?
That's
The
a
only
good.
reason why
His
the only reason why I
will.
say this is because Boyd is also the only one that has quote unquote story walked with the torch, even though we don't really know like what his powers, I guess for lack of a better word, is or like what he can do. But like he's put some things out there, and we saw Jay do that last episode too when he was on the mushroom tree. He's like he had to set intentions. So do you think just like nightmares can manifest, do you think like positive or good intentions can manifest as well, and that's what Boyd can do?
I love that question because I was kind of thinking the same thing. I think Boyd like willed her back. I don't know, you know what I mean? Like that's what it felt to me because everybody was ready to give up, and Boyd was like, no, open your eyes. She opens her eyes, right? Even in this scene, he's like, breathe, and then she comes back. So I think you might have something there, 100%. What about you,
Even
Brian?
more. So I think Boyd. This is something that was said before.
Yeah, he was thinking about me being upset about Donna. Yeah, you're 100%.
Remember that when Boyd was done, they were in the attic and he was just done. I'm done with this. I can't do this anymore. I can't go any further. And what's her name? Told him, no, you're the one that has to lead us. You're the one that has to stay calm. You're the one that has to focus. Because when you're focused, we make it. If you lose your shit, people will die. And when he didn't lose his shit, guess what? Someone didn't die. They lived. He was able to bring them back, bring her back to life because of his wants, his needs. It was exactly what was said. When Christy said that she put something into him, and when he believed it, he got Donna to wake back up. Even though Christy told him it's already over. It's done. You don't have to worry about it anymore.
Right.
Absolutely. This damn camera. Yeah, I absolutely agree with you. I do think that Boyd maybe, has some sort of will or, you know what I mean? Because, like I said, I was like, damn, they're killing Donna. Ain't this some shit? You know what I mean? I was like, here
It's
we
literally
go.
what Christy put into him. She said that.
Yeah.
But remember, Boyd said it to Christy first. And she
Listen, he said,
repeated it back
I
to
need
him.
you. I need you
Yeah.
to do all this stuff. And she says, if you need me to do this for you, you have to be, you can't lose your shit. because I'm doing this for you. I'm putting people's eyes back
No.
in and doing all this stuff for you. Remember?
Yeah, no, but I'm talking before that because remember, so when the first time they had this kind of
It
instinct,
was him
she,
saying it to Christy. Yeah.
yeah, and then Christy said it to him in front of the
Mhm.
pool, right? And then Christy doubled down and said it again in that room where they were talking about
Mhm.
Fatima.
But what the point is, I'm saying is because Christy's the one who gave up and said, "No, I'm not doing anything else." And so she's gone already. And he said once again, because you have to lead us. You have to be the one who gets to not die. You're the one that's doing it. She said that, and then he turned around 2 episodes later and wheeled her back to life. Christy's the one that said that, though.
100%.
Power of love.
When Donna lived, I was like, "Thank you, Anzo won't be mad at me now." Yeah, I would have been cursing your ass off this whole episode if she had died. The power of love. Harold acting was great when Donna had the heart attack, and the dialogue was great too. 100%. I love to see the way he was like desperate to save Donna. You know what I mean?
Yes.
Now we get to this clown, Patty Melt over here, with her fixing up her face. Yo, that was that burn looked bad though. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So so they're fixing up her face. They just wanted to show us what's happening here. They go and they get the defibrillator, and they're trying to help Donna. And this is where Christy is like, let's play some of this scene. You know, they're probably copyright claiming, but screw it.
Come on, Donna. Okay, pulse check.
Mm-hmm.
No. Clear.
For a little bit.
Hey,
Right here.
don't you do this. You don't die until I say you die. You hear me? You don't die until I say you die. Open your fucking eyes. What was that?
And just as he says, open your eyes, she puts out a breath, you know?
Yes.
Patty, it should have been you. Yeah, 100%. You are correct. So that was a great scene. Donna kind of opens her eyes, but they say they need to get wires from the little shed there, the ones that they were using for the tower to help power the monitors and everything. So Boyd and Jade go look for the monitors. That's where they see that creature, and Boyd and Jade was like, "What the fuck is this?" There we go.
I'm sorry, the extra wires for the radio tower, where are they? What's going on? Donna had a heart attack. Jesus. Jade, where are the fucking wires?
Hey, it's out in the shed. Come on, go.
Costa didn't move, not one
I
bit.
know, right?
What the fuck is this?
But there's a problem at the settlement.
Who is this?
Jade, the wire.
It's under the thing.
Okay, help me move. Come on. That ready?
The fact that he didn't keep the cover over him is messed up.
Sweet Jesus! Hey,
Oh, sweet Jesus.
I was dying, bro. That was so funny. You know what I mean? I was like, okay. So they end up getting the wires. Boyd runs back to the house. They hook up the monitor. But Ethan says he wants to talk to Donna before she dies because everybody dies. What did you guys think about what Ethan said? Because I know we said when Ethan went in, they were like, oh yeah, that's the last, the last conversation with Donna, and she's gonna die after that. But what did you guys think of Ethan in this?
I kind of got scared, just like I think like Boyd can manifest and say things if I believe that, Ethan's like the storyteller. So I think that what he says, he can also manifest as well, probably even easier than Boyd. So it kind of scared me. I was like, great, he just brought her back to life and you just condemned her back to death. That's exactly what I thought.
Mm-hmm. Because what I'll say this, and I said this earlier, where I still think Donna died, and again I was muted, but they were talking when they were trying to revive her, and Boyd was like, "Why is she open her eyes?" I was like, "Because she hasn't had oxygen in her brain for how long?" You know what I mean? So we don't know what kind of damage that's gonna do. And even though she opened up her eyes, she said, "Boyd, we still don't know what kind of damage," because he said she was gone for like several minutes, right? So we
Right.
still don't know what kind of damage that's gonna do. Where I think even though Ethan said this, she woke up, I think he was right. I think he's foreshadowing that she's still going to die. Daryl, I said it, all right? So fuck you. Brian, what do you think?
I thought immediately that possibly when the dog grabbed her and was choking her out, that affected Donna and just affected her a little bit later, because that's when I saw Ethan come back and I reminded, oh yeah, the doll did try to choke her out and all this other stuff, and I was like, I'm wondering, did the doll have something to manifest something in Donna 24 hours later that kind of came up? That was part of it too, and that's when Ethan was talking about all this stuff, and he was talking about it wasn't my fault, was it because it happened at the settlement? Maybe it did, maybe it was. I thought that was interesting, but also the fact that Ethan was able to say goodbye to Donna when he was not able to do to his father until he was already dead. So that opportunity to say goodbye and the way that he was growing and getting so used to death broke my heart. There's no reason this little boy should be used to death all the time, and it really did hurt.
Yeah.
Ethan comes into the room, and this is what he has to say.
Donna? I won't forget what you said. That fear is what makes us heroes. I promise I'll always do my best to be brave. Love you, Donna.
Shit was sad as fuck, bro. I'm glad they didn't kill Donna in that episode because it was sad as fuck. I was like, oh damn, man. And all of this because we all watch shows, right? So we've seen things like this in a lot of shows where it's like, oh yeah, these are the last words before the person dies, you know?
Yeah.
And so far they didn't, but I still think that unless Donna has a full recovery, I don't see her being any useful anymore after this, you know? Go ahead.
Yeah, I don't think she's gonna be able to speak. Like
Mm-hmm.
usually when somebody wakes up out of that, you hear them say something, and I mean they could just be making us think that. But I
Yeah,
think
yeah.
they made it a point to say like how long she was gone out for.
Yes.
And Chrissy's saying she doesn't know if she's gonna come back, and
Mm-hmm.
she might have had not. I mean, it looked like a heart attack, but there might be complications and a stroke that would impair her
Mm-hmm.
from being able to speak. And I think it might be a combination of that. So we might not ever hear Donna speak again. That's what I was thinking, because if she died there even for a moment, you would think that she got a glimpse. She got some type of
Exactly.
information
Ooh,
from this
mm-hmm.
place, right?
There
And
it
if now it
is.
comes at a cost, maybe she won't be able to speak. And even if she's able to try to write it down and describe it, it just might not go the right way with all the information. Or maybe she's
Mm-hmm.
gonna want to run and try to say something to Fatima and can't, or figure something out and can't say it, and they're not there to like read like whatever paper she's gonna write it on. So I do think that that might be the twist. She can't speak, and that might be the start of the cost they have to pay from all the knowledge that they've been gaining from the last two episodes.
You know what? I like that, but I'm also gonna say maybe she does speak and tells what she's seen and dies after that, right?
That's
She
true
learns
too.
something that helps them get out, or maybe come up with the plan what they do with the creatures, and then that's when she dies. Because I don't, I hope she does, but I don't think she makes it past the next couple episodes. What about you, Brian? Go ahead.
No, I mean that's why I was saying before with Donna. I think she died. She saw the afterlife. She understands what's going on. Maybe she tells them multiple things. One, where to find the Lake of Tears. Maybe Donna says, "This is where my soul went. I don't know where it is, but maybe that's why. And I know the location of the Lake of Tears." And then I thought that. So my next thing was, okay, let me look at the synopsis of episode 7 and episode 8, right? So we already talked about episode 7. Tabitha and Jade and Boyd's test to a risky theory. Then at 8, it says Boyd weighs a dangerous plan that could bring everyone home. Fatima and Henry face disturbing crossroads. Victor helps Tabitha and Ethan prepare for the worst as tensions escalate and difficult choices loom. To me, that tells me Donna is going to pass in episode 8. And it's called Heavy as the Head. So she
Yeah.
tells them everything they need to know, and the cost for that telling them all this information is her life.
I think you have a good point there, but I also think it has a lot to do with them finding out about Tabitha and Jade's history,
But
right?
that's going to happen in episode 7. So,
Yeah, I know, but it's going to be the consequence of it, right? Because a dangerous plan begins to shape, which is the plan that they're going to do to try and get into the caverns, right?
But when it says Victor helps Tabitha and Ethan, Tabitha and Ethan
Prepare
prepare for the worst.
Yeah,
as
the
tensions
town trying
escalate.
to. Yeah, some of the town trying to kill Tabitha.
But why would
Prepare.
that? It's not Tabitha and Jade. It's Tabitha and Ethan.
Right,
And what is
because
it? It's Donna is the one, the connection, that one that Ethan just had to deal with. He just had to deal with, and why
Right.
Victor? Because Victor had to deal with his mother dying and all those things, and having to deal with that. I think that's going to be what she dies. But we'll see.
So what I think from that, you could be right, but what I think from that is Victor helps Tabitha and Ethan prepare for the worst, which is the town trying to kill Tabitha. He's preparing Ethan and Tab. Now, why it's not Jade
Why
there is because
it's not Jade.
Well, I'm going to say that because Jade is going on his mission with Boyd to try and get the bones, right? So that's why I don't think it's Jade there. I think it's Tabitha that's going to be left there. Jade and Boyd are going to be off doing what they're going to be trying to do, and it's going to be Victor, like them going after Tabitha. Hey, Tabitha, it's your fault why we did this, blah blah blah. Because Victor was there when they had the first massacre. Remember, Victor was in season one at the end. Victor started making graves because he said, "I'm preparing for what's happening." So he knows the massacre is going to happen. Maybe he remembers that the massacre happened because the town people found out that they were reincarnations.
He
Right.
also was there when his mother passed away and had to deal with the loss of everyone he knows, and his mother and his sister. And how do you deal with the loss of someone else being, that you love, being gone? A mother figure, and that idea being gone, especially because he has a connection with Ethan, right? So they have to prepare for the worst. I think the worst is bad, and I do understand a difficult choice looms. I think they have to
So
choose to let Donna go.
So here's another thing too. Yeah, that could be right. But here's another thing too, right? If they find out about Tabitha and Victor and Jade in episode 7, that means Victor finds out that it's his mom. So that makes sense as to why he's helping them prepare for the worst.
And not to mention, the first sentence was Boyd weighs a dangerous plan that could bring everyone home. He's going to need everyone to be on board with this. I think that's the focus of all that stuff. The fact that when Henry has things, I think that's going to be a lot to do with Sophia. And so I think there's other things that are going on. That means that Victor and Tabitha and Ethan are talking about Donna. And I think, and the fact that we've not said, they didn't say Donna in seven or 8, I think she does pass away in 8.
No, I think she passed away. I don't think she survives this. I really don't. I said that already. Unfortunately, fuck you, Daryl. Right? But so here's the thing too, right? Fatima and Henry find themselves at two different and disturbing crossroads, right? So what are the crossroads for Henry? What are the crossroads for Fatima? Right? Does Henry realize that, is this where he thinks it's all a dream and does that, or does he realize that Sophie did something to him? Fatima's crossroads, maybe with the golem. I don't know. I'm not sure about Fatima's yet, but I think Henry is either the fact that he's going to start thinking that everything is a dream now because Sophie put that in his head, or he's going to realize that Sophie did something to him.
Could it also be that what you just said is going to happen in episode 7?
Which is what?
Or I guess Daryl says, I really hope Victor finds out that Tabitha is his mom in episode 7. So if we find out that, if Victor finds out that Tabitha is his mom in episode 7, could it also be that Henry finds out that that Tabitha is his wife?
It could be.
Episode 7. That would be something that he had to deal with right there. Episode 8. That will be the next step. Yeah.
It could be that too. But the reason why I say that is because the blood wasn't for nothing, right? So we got to find out why the blood is. I don't think they're going to drag that onto another season. We got to find out what the blood did. But yeah, you're right. It could be that he finds out that, that's his wife reincarnated too. Jen, what do you think?
I think all of those theories could actually be that way. I also think since Henry drank the blood, his crossroads might be he's like thinking about killing Tabitha because that was put into his mind because it's all a dream. One of the first people, and then when he finds out that was Miranda, maybe he's like, but I can't kill my wife.
Ooh, yes, I like that.
Kind of a crossroads of a dilemma. I'm just throwing those out there because you guys said all the other good ones.
Does he choose to kill himself?
And then, to unalive
instead.
That's interesting. That's interesting. But hold on, I just want to put this up again. Daryl said Nzo is making good points. Wow, I'm not a third wheel anymore.
He said
hey,
making a good point.
Yeah.
We just say
no
good
matter.
points.
Whatever,
So
1 point, 2 points, whatever, same thing. I'm gonna take how
Take
I
all the
said, all
points
right?
you can get. Take all the
You know,
points you can get.
100%.
we
Daryl's been on
changed
my
it up.
ass since this season started. So yeah, if he's gonna say I made a good point, I'm gonna say I made good points. Oh my gosh! All right, so we get back to this bitch and her and
I
yeah. Go
blame
ahead.
Henry, man. I still blame Henry. You just don't do this, man. Like if I was in a bar having drinks with an underage girl, whose fault is it?
Yeah. 100%.
So if
We
I
are
get drunk, I get roofied. Guess what? It's on me.
Brian. This is the elevator. This is the elevator situation.
100%.
You know what I mean? The elevator opens up. There's a little white girl in there. You don't get in.
No. Get in. I run away. I run the other way. Like, no.
Facts.
You-
You're not
You
gonna
don't go
help her?
save the little
Nope.
white girl? Nope. Not at all.
I'll take the next one.
Yeah.
I'll take the next one.
Exactly. Feels very Mike Henry is heading down the same path as Abby. I think Man in Yellow made Abby go crazy too.
That's
I do
right.
Yes,
too.
I agree.
But
100%.
here's the question though now. Does that mean the Man in Yellow was actually there, or did he do his put it in her mind thing?
We don't know because we don't
We
know
don't
any
know.
of the other people that are there because Boy decided to leave town and find the talismans.
Exactly.
Well, that's why I'm asking you guys theory. Do you think it was the Man in Yellow that was there at the time, or do you think that he just put it in her head like he's doing with Sarah?
That's a good question.
Because remember, Sarah, and we all think that it was the Man in Yellow that was putting the kill the boy in her head, right? He
Right.
wasn't there at the time. So is it possible that he did that with Abby, but now that he's there, maybe
Yeah,
Maybe
I don't
Henry-
think he came out and actually was there because
Right. Yeah,
then
same.
what was the whole point of the music being played to allow the man in
And then
yellow
him
to be
coming
released
out,
into the
exactly.
I
town?
agree.
Because this is all the same iterations, the same time frame. So it wouldn't make sense for him to come and then leave and then come and then leave. Then what was
Right.
the whole point of the music?
So here's a question. You think maybe it's possible that he had to actually put his blood in the drink or whatever to do it because the mind wasn't working with Henry, right? Like to go into his mind and have him, Henry's alcoholic, right? So maybe that was actually affecting the Man in Yellow where he couldn't put those thoughts in his head and had to do it another way. And the other way was putting the blood in his drink.
I think that's what you said before, a connection. It needs to be a connection with her. That's the only way to get connection. Her blood. My blood is your blood. It helps you control what's going on.
Right.
Absolutely.
I think that like he obviously put I think he put vision just like or whatever voices in Abby's head just like he did Sarah. But for Henry, he can't do that and Henry knows too much at this point. So he has to come at Henry another way, just like he entered town another way. And I think it's through the blood so that way he can have more control over Henry's mind.
I agree. I like that. Somebody from the From account said that the Man in Yellow was closer than we think in season 1.
That's because that's what
interesting.
Dougie
Phone
Hughes.
calls.
Yeah, Dougie Hughes, the actor that plays the Man in Yellow. So I love Doug. We chat
Yeah.
every now and again. So Doug actually said that. He goes, I think the Man in Yellow, I don't think you guys realize the Man in Yellow might be much closer than you think. Like if he's gonna have control over people, you would think he might have to be close.
I
It's
like
like,
that.
oh. Like, oh. So then that made me think exactly like you were saying. It would make me think that Abby just had voices. But there is a possibility that the Man in Yellow was close by and shapeshifted and spoke with Abby that we don't know of into somebody that we don't realize was killed or something had happened to that person yet. Or
I
just
like
a
that.
random person in town that Abby might not have known. Oh yeah, I live up in Colony House because remember they were so segregated at that point.
They
Where, like,
weren't living in the houses at all, right? They were just hiding
Right.
in these tunnels and things underground.
Yeah.
correct. So there were people around. So somebody might have just been able to pop in and out, dress like somebody and look similarly that wasn't that person, and Abby would have been none the wiser because they weren't like that with each other. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
So
but
that,
he was also around with all the phone calls. I think Thomas was the Man in Yellow. I think
Yep,
all those things
absolutely.
are always the Man in Yellow. So you talk about season 1, I think it was all those phone calls coming from Thomas that he was always there watching over. Hey Jim, shouldn't let your wife dig that hole, Jim. Then Man in Yellow was always there. That's why I think.
Absolutely. And we see the eye, right? The all-seeing eye.
All-seeing eye.
All-seeing eye could be the man in yellow, making sure he sees everything that's going on in the town. Remember, these guys came in here. The creatures already knew who the hell they were. They knew their names. Said, "We know everything about you." You know what I mean? So it makes a lot of sense. Said, "I believe the man in yellow was there the whole time, like collapsing the house, being fake Thomas. I believe he was there in a different way. Absolutely."
100%.
Man in Yellow was on the radio for Pete's sake. Absolutely.
Yep.
How many episodes does this doggone show has? Man, when is this series finally coming to an end, Danny? Oh, Danny, go Spurs, go! I just wanted to say that. All right, let's go. So next up, we see this drinking and having conversation. She puts the blood in where we talked about that, and of course Henry goes and drinks it. Now we get to Randall. He sees Bathtub bringing food over to the colony house, and she says, "Oh, we're going there." Don had a heart attack, and he decides to do what he's supposed to do and helps. This is what I'm talking about with Randall. Randall is always on point, helping out. You know. We get to Sarah and Julie, where they're painting the room for Sophie. They're having a conversation, and they're talking about things, you know, when they get out and what they're gonna do. And then she tells him, and I'll just play it. Like, you said you understood what I was talking about. How?
You understood what I went through. How?
Something here convinced me that I could still help my dad. Like I could go back to the day it happened and I could save him.
Sarah doesn't question that, does she?
I can't
No.
do that. Can I?
So now she doesn't really answer the question, but I do think, huh? Yeah, they give her a hug, but I do think they're gonna have more to this conversation where Sarah maybe, like you guys said, convinces her that, hey, you can actually do this. You know?
Right.
What do you guys think? Go ahead.
I agree. I think like Julie, like even the look that she has on her face here, like she feels like she's actually making a connection with Sarah at this point and actually feels like Sarah might be able to help her. And she's actually kind of devastated because she wants an answer and Sarah can't give it to her, but Sarah's somebody that's showing her support. After being like kind of like rejected by Randall to not continue with the story walking, I think Julie's realizing she can make another connection. I think, Anzo, you were saying this earlier, that it's going to probably be Sarah now that might be pulling her out because we know she's going to still story walk. Even though right here she looks like she's going to give up, we know that somehow she's going to get the spirit to do it again. And I think that, you know, Sarah's going to do that because Sarah's always also trying to be helpful. Just a lot of things keep backfiring for Sarah, but I think Sarah's really misunderstood.
Absolutely, 100%. Sarah's my MVP. Always.
That's what I was gonna say. I was in the background going, MVP, MVP.
Facts. 100%.
Doing the big thing, man. I see you, Sarah, big Sarah.
Here's Danny with his bullshit. The man in yellow, the boy in white, the woman in green slip dress, the girl in the polka dot shoes. Man, bring me on Interview with a Vampire. Nobody want to watch that crap, Danny, except for you and Brian.
Hey, watch it.
I ain't watching that.
I want to watch it. I'm going to watch it.
Okay, so
You're the only one wrong. You were wrong.
I'm good. You know what I mean? I'm good. You know, I won't say why I'm gonna watch it on stream. I'll say it backstage with you guys. But yeah, I'm good. I'm good. Is old girl in an asylum? Man, her background looking kind of creepy. No, they're not. Huh? Oh, is he talking about you? I don't know. I thought he was talking about the show. You could be
I think he's talking about Julie and Sarah.
You're crazy to get lavender.
They said, I love Julie and Sarah. Scene hits me in the feels. Absolutely. I'll skip that one, Danny. There you have it, Anzo, Jen, and Brian. There we have what? Yeah, if you're talking about your comment
he's talking about
that,
Jen. Oh, he said he's talking about Jen.
Oh, okay. He said, yeah, no, I'm talking about Jen. Okay, yeah. You saying your background's creepy, Jen. What you gonna say to that? It's okay. You can curse Danny. You know, Danny is fine. You can curse
I
him.
like
I
my
do it all the time.
background. I have so many different pops and figurines. I just chose a bunch of Stranger Things and some
Yeah.
other stuff that's up there. I don't know.
Here's what
I like it.
here's what
It's
you
not
do.
creepy to me. They're my collectibles.
That's all you gotta do is this. This is it.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. Just put this up. Say here, Danny. This is creepy for you. There you go. There you go.
You know what's creepier? If you sit on it and rotate. No, sure.
I don't know about that being creepy, but okay.
More like kinky.
Uh,
We get to Boyd, and he's having this conversation with Donna, and I gotta play this because he really is like, I can't do this without you, and I loved this scene, man. I really did.
I cannot. I cannot do this.
And I seen that there. I'm gonna look for the trailer. We'll show it at the
So
end of the
you
episode
better
for
wake
sure.
the hell up. You hear me? We got things to do, you and me. I'm not saying goodbye. You understand? I ain't fucking saying goodbye.
What are you gonna do if she doesn't wake up?
And then we got Father Kotri. It's a crazy town. He said, wow. Yeah, so we get Father Kotri. Now, personally, me, I have always questioned whether these visions were good or bad. I am convinced now that there are the good ones and there are the bad ones. Father Kotri is one of the good ones because everything he talked about was to try and get Boyd to do what he had to do to find this door or whatever to save everybody, right? And at first I thought it was like reverse psychology, what they were doing. You know what I mean? Like, hey, you know, having a conversation with Boyd when he's trying to, you know, do the thing to Elgin, keeping him there talking instead of doing what he had to do. I thought he was stalling for time. So it made it seem like he was trying to help, but at the same time, he was stalling. But now after watching this, it's more or less to me like, no, they're trying to help, which is to me their manifestations of the boy in white. Go ahead.
I agree with you. I absolutely I was on the fence with a lot of the visions. I was already starting to think that there had to be this balance between them. But you kind of were like trying to figure out who's who. I think Tom and I think Kotri, I think both of them might be obviously on the good side, more like the boy in white, where like the Abby visions, I think more like the men in yellow.
I agree.
yep.
I agree. Go ahead, Brian.
No, I was just gonna say that I always thought that the boy in white tried to talk to Christopher straight up and just talk to him, right? And it didn't work. He realized he couldn't do things that way. So besides, Ethan and that one time he talked to Boyd, whatever, and that's and Victor, they doesn't talk to anybody else. So now he goes through these spirits. I think that he's in control of those spirits and he's able to do those things. So once again, you have the good ones and you have the evil ones. I think it's the boy in white and the man in yellow. It's manipulating kind of what we were saying before.
Absolutely. You see, the thing is that I've always said, like, yin and yang, right? You got the bad, you got to have the good, right? And the boy in white already told us that he's not going to directly tell people what to do because it never works out that way. But you can manipulate certain situations, and he's still not telling information, but he's trying to get them on that path. So that's exactly what I think the boy in white is doing. And of course, the man in yellow, Abby saying, "Oh no, don't destroy the box. No, don't do this." You know what I mean? So I like that. He said, "I'm leaving today." Yeah, go ahead, Danny. You can leave. You can leave. So after this conversation, we get Bata and Randall, and they're cutting up for the stew, right? And of course, Ethan, this guy just starts standing there looking. You know what I mean?
Really good stew.
Elgin, yeah.
Elgin, yeah.
This is a setup scene though.
Yeah, 100%. But
This is
set
a
up for
setup.
what? Go ahead.
I think they needed to get Randall into Colony House for whatever fucker is gonna come with the Roger
Yes.
Ragdoll, and the
Yes.
Golem and this whole scene that's gonna happen. So they need certain characters to be there, and they kind of need certain characters to kind of team up and be in the same place together. So you need Randall and Elgin are gonna have to be together in this moment. And you have all the other main characters that we know, except for Julie and Sarah. They're the only two that are not in Colony House right now.
Mm-hmm. So Do you think we get a redemption arc from
100%.
Elgin coming up soon?
God damn it.
I know, I don't want it either. You already fucked up. We can't give him redemption. We can't be forgiving everybody. You know what I mean? But it kind of messed up that we forgiven Sarah, but we don't.
No, man, I have a higher sense of look. When you have melanin in your skin, it's plain and simple. You have any melanin in your skin, I have a higher expectation for you. You know, if it's us
100%.
three in a house and Jen does something crazy, I'm gonna look at Jen like, no, you have no. I have a higher expectation for you. That doesn't work for you. You can't be so. You have to do more to reach that expectation. Now, if you're in there, it's us three and Sarah. Sarah, she got a lower ball to go through. I know who you are. You don't want to hear a sound. You want to go check it out. I understand. So when you do something good, I give you a clear applause. That's okay. But Jen can't go do the same thing. This matter. No.
And listen, nobody on this panel is running upstairs, all right? We know we don't run upstairs, all right? White people do that shit all the time. They're running upstairs. Like, where the hell are you going when you go upstairs? No, we going down. The outside is downstairs. That's where we trying to get out. We got to go through a couple of these creatures to get there. We're going outside. We're not going to get stuck up on the roof. You know? So, yeah, no, I agree with you 100%. I expected a little bit more on what you did to that woman of color. Yeah, you can be redeemed.
Exactly.
But
he's going to do something to sacrifice himself. I'm telling you, he's going to sacrifice
Yeah, that's what I'm
himself.
saying. What if he does something to where it's like, shit, well, maybe now we got to invite him to the cookout. You know what I mean?
No, he's trying to get a plate. That's all he needs right now. All you're going to try to do is get a plate. I'm not letting you through the gates yet. But maybe you can work on getting a plate, a to-go plate with some Reynolds wrap around it. You can go wherever you going, you know, and it'll be on your way, bro. That's why I'm trying to get you to that. Your redemption arc is going to get you some 2 ribs, a Polish, a hot dog, and a burger, and wrapping that shit up, and I'm gonna send you on your way. You know, if you do 2 good things, maybe I'll let you in, but then you're getting less food because right now I don't trust you.
For me, it depends on who he saves. Like if he saves Bata, you might be able to get you might be able to be redeemed. You know what I mean? You might be able to get. You save Bata.
You got to save Fatima and Boyd for me to be even think about letting them in the damn cookout.
well, he started. So here's the thing.
He has Ellis.
Out.
He saved Ellis. Remember that, guys. First.
Yeah. That was before, but that gets washed out because he did what he did after that, right? You know what I mean? So I can't really. You started off good, but then you did some bullshit. You know, I can't trust you no more. So you gotta do something. But save Bata. This woman hasn't done nothing in the show. She's like how I would be in the show. You know what I mean? I ain't doing shit. I'll cook for you guys and everything and stuff like that. Like Bata's staying out of fucking everything. She comes up with little. Oh, this is like the puzzle, whatever, the music box thing. She came up with that answer. But Bata was more like me. She just minding her own business. So if you say Bata, that's like saving me. So I'll probably give you a pass. Based on Elgin's screen time and scenes compared to Randall is the one dying so much screen time and nice moments. Ooh.
He's had a chance to die, and I don't think they're going to come after him again.
Yeah, I don't think the monsters are going to come after him unless like he pushes somebody out of the way as the knife is coming down. I don't think they're going after Randall right now.
Yeah. I think if Randall does die, it's next season. I don't think it's going to be this season. You know what I mean? Like, I think he'll probably do something to help them out.
Yeah, he still has the cicadas inside of him.
Yeah. Which he hasn't, because I don't think he's had any issues with them this season so far, right? Maybe that's because right now the man in yellow doesn't need him. So, you know what I mean?
Do you think, when he was acting like, when Julie first went to go look for the books, and everybody said that he had like that cowboy stance and he was kind of acting a little bit like the cowboy with his hands on the buckle. Do you think that because he has the cicadas inside of him, every now and again one of the monsters can possess him? Just off of that one episode.
Yeah, possibly. I could see that happening 100%. What about you, Brian?
I sure hope not. I don't take the monsters to being very intelligent. I do think there's other intelligent things out there, especially when we talk about the man in yellow. I think the spider out there. I think there's the forest itself, as the trees are moving. Things like that are smarter than the monsters. I think the monsters just haven't played the game.
What about it being the man in yellow then?
That's possible. Yeah, and that's what you probably gonna see the cicadas from the man in yellow. I can see that.
I got you.
Yeah.
So Randall dying this season 4. You'll see. That Randall Cowboy Monster theory is so silly. Really? I don't know. I don't think anything's really silly,
Yeah, I
to be
can't
honest
see
with you,
anything
though.
silly.
You know
Yeah.
what I mean with this show. Like, I think we've all had probably theories that we disagreed with, but I don't think any of them said like, "Oh, that's silly" or "That's stupid" or "That can't happen." I don't think so. I don't.
Right.
I wouldn't think that about anybody's theories about this show. To
Because
be honest.
anything can happen.
Right.
Yeah. Anything can happen. So we get to Boyd sitting with Donna. He's having a conversation with Father Catry. Father Catry's telling him he needs to do what he's doing. He's telling the story about when he first got into town, right? And then Donna opens up her eyes, but she does say his name, right? She says,
Yep.
She
And
can't
that's
talk.
what she could talk.
Yeah.
Yep.
Oh, hey. Oh,
but I do like the theory where you guys said she pretty much died and probably seen some
knows.
shit. Yeah, she
Yeah.
knows something, right? And she's gonna tell what it is, and I think then she's gonna die. I think
I don't know
she's
if she
gonna.
dies from this. She's gonna die. It could be something totally unrelated. Because remember, he's gonna have a crazy plan. You know, if she's a part of the plan, or she's stuck in the house when something happens in episode 8, she dies.
Right.
Which is a good theory, but I think she dies before that. I think she's gonna tell what she's seen, like you said, like the Daredevil moment. You know, wake up, say, "Hey, Boyd," blah blah blah. You know, or maybe she doesn't even tell, but she says your plan was gonna work. You know what I mean? I seen people escaping, or I seen something like that. I seen the end, and she tells Boyd that's how. Because I think that's going to be the real push to get Boyd to. Boyd already said, "What's the plan?" I think she kind of gives him help with that plan. I don't know. Maybe we'll see. We'll see.
Right.
Said I loved Boyd talking about how he knew Donna, and how to survive. Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. Said, what if Roger kills Donna? Good thing. Yeah,
I think
possibility.
something else kills him. Exactly. I can see that. Payback. You left all this stuff, and she gets stabbed with one of those things.
Right.
What if it's the freaking golem?
I was.
What if it's the golem? You know what I mean? Hey, that golem's still in the house. I'm sorry.
So the golem left the attic, walked downstairs, found out what the weapon was, walked back upstairs and stabbed Donna.
Well, no. The golem did his thing, right? Fought the people, turned bad, and when it was going back, seen Donna there, right? Because this is what I'm saying. If they're doing that plan, Donna's gonna be unprotected if she survives, right? I don't know how many people are gonna be outside trying to, because they're gonna need like most of the people in town. It can't just be Kenny, Christy, Marielle. Like it's gonna be everybody, including red shirts, right? They're all gonna have to try and sacrifice to get these creatures to chase them around and look for them and stuff like that. That means Donna will be unprotected if she survives. So I don't know.
Exactly. That's why I think the monsters get her, or Roger, something like that. Because if it's Roger, the talisman shouldn't work on him.
No, it won't work on.
Yeah, 100%. Said the writers are clearly using the golem as a good guy for now. But remember, we talked about the history of the golem already, so it's not always on the side of good. You know what I mean? So we'll see what they do with that. We get to Sophie and Henry, and they're having a conversation, and he drinks the blood. He said, "Oh, that one has some kick to it." And then she says this.
Tell me.
It's the strangest thought, but I just can't shake it. You know, we're trapped in a town we can't escape from, surrounded by monsters that come from the forest at night. None of it feels real, does it? Have you ever wondered if maybe this is all just a dream?
You've heard that before.
And that's why I have this thing that he is planting the same thing, she, whatever, the bitch is planting the same thing in his head that they planted in Abby's head.
100%.
But once again, I think what you said, he finds out that Tabitha is actually, his wife, and instead of choosing to kill them, he kills himself.
I can see that. I can see that.
Same.
The only thing I'll ask is how deep does this blood like affect him, right? Is it to where it just has him thinking it's a dream, or is it actually going to be controlling him?
Right.
That's what I'm curious about. What do you think?
I think it's gonna be his mind.
Okay, so you don't think it's gonna actually control him, right? Like take over his body and stuff like that?
It's not enough blood. It'd be like the worms the worms underneath the body. It didn't control Boyd, but it still did stuff to Boyd.
And what about you, Jen?
I think it's going to wind up poisoning his mind.
Yeah, I'm more on the poisoning side too. I don't think it's actually going to control his body, which would make sense as to why he would be able to kill himself. But I do think that if it gets to the point where he does do some stuff before, like he realizes that what I'm doing, it's going to cause a big issue between him and Victor, even bigger than it is now. So I'm curious to see how that plays out too as well. All right. Then we get to Boyd. He's walking, and Father Kotri pops up again, and Boyd's like, "Man, you can't leave me the hell alone."
Great news about Donna. It's just too bad about Roger.
You can't let me have a fucking minute, can you?
He tried to warn you about Roger.
You see, now this is the thing. That's what I said when I watched it back. I was like, they are saying this guy's name too fucking much. We didn't know who fucking Roger was until last episode, right? There was no fucking Roger before, and all of a sudden we're hearing Roger's name 3 or 4 times in an episode. Nah, bro, you foreshadowing something with that Roger thing, man.
Word.
Which is, you guys are idiots for bringing him. I would have been like, yo, we ain't bringing that thing back to town. Why are we taking this? No, Donna, we're not taking it. No, we're burning it, we're stabbing it, whatever. We're leaving it here, but we are not taking that thing back to town. Because, like you said, it could be now going to turn into one of the scarecrows, which makes a lot of sense as to why they pinned it up like that. Boyd asks, if the bones are down there. I want to know. Father Kotri says you have to have faith. Boyd says, nah, I ain't having no faith. I need proof.
All you gotta do is give me a knife. Give me a what's the thing called? Give me a hammer, but whatever. It's
a sledgehammer.
Sledgehammer, yeah. Mm-hmm. First off, I didn't think he was gonna be strong enough to get that thing down. Have you ever slung a sledgehammer against a fireplace? A brick? Oh my!
100%.
Oh my God, it hurts like nobody's business. And to be able to break that entire fireplace down, bruh.
One time we had like, those rooms where you just go and break shit up and shit. Me and my boy went and did that one time, man. And yeah, you swing that sledgehammer like 5 or 6 times and your arms feel like jello, bro. You know what I mean? So I'm right there with you. Now, not only swinging it, you swinging it and hitting a brick wall. Like we had like fucking regular. Yeah, we had regular walls. Like easy, like one little hit, boom, the wall break. You swinging that to a brick wall, bro.
The vibration off of it, like when it pings that you feel in your arms, is fucking crazy. Because I've done it. I've done it like regular.
Breaking down a fireplace, right? Like
yes. Yeah. That shit hurts, and you're right. Your arms are like, I've swam for hours and played volleyball, and have never felt this type of pain.
100%. 100%.
Versus when you like someone, you the bigger person, you can't bitch out. So you just got to keep on doing it, pretend like it don't hurt,
until you wake up the next day and be like, holy shit, your arms like this.
It's the 10th hit, and all of a sudden you start swinging real hard, right? I want to do this.
They get softer after that, yeah.
I don't think I made it
to 10. Yeah, absolutely. So we get boys coming in there, and I love it because Boyd's like, you want to fuck with me? Boyd, this classic Boyd right here.
But again, he manifests. He's like, "Show me the wall." Boom.
Yes.
There's the door. The
Yes.
door. Whatever.
Fuck
Yep.
me.
Yeah. And the music in this scene, it just hits, bro. I love it.
That
You wanna
hurt.
test me, huh?
Right. Oh my arm.
I'm tired for him.
Where the hell's Acosta?
Yeah, I know, right?
That's a good point. Where is she?
You wanna fuck with me? You want me to go down in those tunnels? You want me to risk people's lives? Then show me the fucking door!
Damn.
Holy shit. We're gonna need a plan.
We're going to need a plan. Love it. Love it. 100%. You know, and I don't know like how recently you guys watched Lost recently, but the music in From and the music in Lost is so much the same. But this song here is something totally different, like to the vibes, and I don't know why. For some reason, the music along with this scene, it just hit me so much. I was like, this shit is fire. I love this scene. Like I love the end of this show. I love the end of this episode. What do you guys think?
I'm with you. I thought it was fire. I really like it brings Jade and Boyd back together. It gave Boyd the fire he needed. He kind of conquered his fear and his disbelief and he went and tried it. Like that's the Boyd that we know from like season 1. That's the Boyd that
Yeah.
we want and that's kind of secure and is like, fuck it, why not try it? And went ahead and did it. And I really, really, really loved it. And you're right, the music hits. Those strings, whether it's violin, cello,
Yeah.
whatever it is, the way it plays, it just pulls you in and it does something to your brain that kind of really locks you into the tension of the moment.
100.
It gives you like this epiphany of revelation with the music and the visuals. It really just brings your whole body into the show.
Absolutely. And people don't realize how important, well, some people do, but don't realize how important music and the right music in certain scenes really helps hit that scene. You know what I mean? And they did a great job in that one. Brian.
I was like, God damn it, that means the show's about to end.
Yeah, I know. I know.
I hear the
know.
music, I'm like, oh no, you know what's about to happen. Yeah, this is the worst.
100%. And I say it again, and I said it like 3 times. I was so fucking pissed because when I said it was like way back, I said, oh yeah, the episode's gonna end with Boyd finding the door. Nobody heard me, right? And I got this guy over here questioning whether I said it or not.
I don't know.
I'm like, yeah.
Look, I was there the entire
You know what I did?
time. I was listening. I didn't
You
hear
know-
him say not one peep.
You know what I did? I actually went back into the StreamYard and I said, because you could have the recording, right? So I said, let me watch the recording and see, because sometimes when you play something, it can still hear us talking, right? I said, let me go see if I can still hear it. Unfortunately, I had the mic muted and not my StreamYard muted. I had this crap muted, and that's why nothing heard me. So yeah, whatever. Anyways, I
Because
just
he
freaking
said all these things. He
Yeah, I did.
said all these things.
Yeah, I said him. You know what, Brian? I'm going to tell you the same thing I tell Danny. Fuck you. All right? That's how this episode ends, guys. And I want to get the grades and I guess we'll give some predictions for next episode. Jen, what is your grade for this episode?
10 out of 10. I loved it, but I definitely think it was a slower pace, but I was all for it. It just wasn't as like quick as it's been, but this is kind of like coming, like we've kind of had like the hit, we came down the roller coaster, we're trekking back up again just to keep going back down. So for episode 7, I definitely think Sophia's gonna bring Roger back to life and he's gonna go through Colony Door. I do think that Sarah and Julia are gonna continue to bond and something's gonna happen between them, and when they find out the information, I think it's gonna like really catapult like Julie into going forward. And I don't think Henry is gonna do anything just yet. I think he'll still be mulling things over, like like pondering, and I think he might start questioning the thing about the dream to other people. Yeah, that's what I got so far. I haven't seen the trailer yet. I know that
Oh,
Daryl said the trailers. I haven't seen it yet, so I
I
haven't
have it.
watched it.
I have it. Thank you. I have it. Thank you for reminding me. I'll bring it up before we close. Brian, what are your thoughts?
Um, I don't know. I think I just love this show so much. I don't think it's even fair for me to even question it anymore. Like, what the rate? I rank at a 10 out of 10. Why? Because I love the show. It doesn't even matter what the hell they do. They could be like, we're going to undo everything we did for season 2. It doesn't matter because I love it. So I'm fine with it. Everything that's going to happen, I'm fine with. So yeah, no, I'm so in love with this show. I think we're going to get a little Acosta is going to happen in episode 7. I really believe we're going to get a little bit more information from her. I think she's actually going to show herself to be something that start her character arc all over again. I think that we're going to see, with Jade and Boyd coming up with a plan. I think Donna's going to be very instrumental in informing them about death there. And how that's going to go forward. I think the Gollum, we're going to start seeing that Fatima is going to be able to figure out this whole Gollum thing, and that might how it ends. It might end with Roger being up and the Gollum actually being activated.
Absolutely,
and just right there.
And I agree with you. First off, Daryl, me and you on the same page, right? This is why I don't know why you call me like a third wheel or something. We the same thing. I like this episode. It's okay. You know what? I always say this, and I say it all the time. I don't take none of that seriously. You can say whatever you want to. We about to have fun on here. You can trash me all you want to. Just know that you get caught.
Someone says something about the Spurs. Then all of a sudden, Anzo's all mad.
You see what I'm saying? You see what I'm saying? Watch him out, boy. Watch him out, boy. All right, so let's get into this trailer. Let's watch this. We'll see what we are going to get for episode 7. This is going to be interesting.
What is it? Do you hear that?
Crazy.
Ooh, yeah.
So explain to me why you don't have an eye.
We are all being tested.
So part of your test is getting mutilated?
There is a truth behind all of this. When your enemy threatens, tries to scare you, that means they are scared of you.
Is that the car the man in the yellow suit came here in?
Yeah.
What kind of clues are we looking for?
Ooh.
It's time to...
Hold on.
Go back.
What is that? What do they find?
Oh, I gotta blow it up. I can't see.
It has to be something to do with Sophia.
100%. I can't blow it up. Hold on.
Picture. What if it's a picture inside that bag? It's just a bag.
Yeah, it's a bag. It's a bag.
What if they open it and they see a picture and it's Sophia?
Yeah, something in there too. And the way he's looking at it.
Maybe it's Sophia's head.
What if it's Eloise's something that she took out when she left, when she ran out?
Oh. Good call.
Now.
They're still there. They didn't go through the door.
This is a problem.
Yep.
This is a problem. Boyd is giving the plan to Sophia.
Yep.
So whatever the plan they have going, she's standing there listening to everything. Oh my God, this bitch is pissing me off, bro. Like really, I'm so tired of this.
Interesting. Oh, very close to Kenny.
But yeah, exactly. And then we have Elgin standing there. When we have Elgin having this conversation with Julie, and let's listen to what he says, because...
Explain to me why you don't have an eye.
We are all being tested.
So part of your test is getting mutilated?
There is a truth behind all of this.
There is a
Explain to me why you don't have an eye.
You know what, Brian? Elgin cannot come to the fucking...
I told you, you don't want to try to let the man back in. Only thing I'm gonna let this dude do, he might get a plate. Maybe if I got some extra, I'll give him a little bit of the plate, and I'll give the dog some. And after that, he might get that. That's it.
He said, "Man in Yellow would have known the plan anyways." No, not necessarily. I think this plan that they have is something they never did before, right? So we're getting to the areas where other reincarnations never got this far to go
Right.
after the bones and do that. You know what I mean? So this is why I think you guys are correct now with the Golem. The Golem is going to help because if the man in yellow is there knowing the plan, then there has to be some sort of X factor to help them get through that plan, which will probably be the Golem. So I like that. Said I like how she knew that Sarah didn't do what she was told.
Yeah.
Wait, they showed that? Hold on, did I miss that?
No, we're talking about with the water. Remember when she didn't do what she was
Okay,
told?
yeah,
She
You
came
knew
over back to
exactly.
Bakma, and then that's when
yeah,
she fell and broke her arm, and she
yeah,
wasn't in there. She knew, but she was really close. She was right outside.
yeah. And then Sarah ended up doing it after the girl broke her arm, right? Yeah, you're correct.
Right.
Man in yellow knew Sarah didn't pour the water back in the jug. Yeah, you're correct. You're correct. You're right. You're right. And then after he broke his arm, Sarah ended up doing it. Man, this is going to be a great episode. This is going to be fun to watch next week. I cannot wait. But with that being said, I don't know. You guys have anything else for this episode?
You need to hurry up and let me see episode 7. Do you understand what's going on? I need to see episode 7. Look, I won't tell nothing. I won't say nothing to either one of these guys. They don't need to know nothing. You just call me. Hey.
Look at this guy. We supposed to be a team, and he trying to work
Shut
on
up, man. What you
himself.
talking about? I'll give it to you later. Why you always look? You messing up. You messing up the
My
game.
bad. My
You
bad.
messing-
My bad. I didn't catch that one. My bad. A little slow. A little slow today. You know what? Yes, guys, give it to Brian because I think he's more reliable than me. Because I'd have been like, I got the episode. You know what I mean? I'd have been like the 90 boo boo. I got to see the episode, and you did it.
You would just had an email just coming out of nowhere, be like, "Hey, open this when you're alone." You have been good.
So gonna miss this show when it goes on break. Gonna miss this show when it ends. Next season,
Yeah, I know.
when it ends, I'm going to miss this show, man. Really.
Give me 23 episodes next season. We'd be good.
Yeah, yeah. Give us 13, 20, 23. Make it a long season because, man, it's gonna be hard not to. Hey guys, we got no more From to do. It's gonna be hard, man, because this is one of the greatest shows ever. Jen, tell the people where they could find you.
You can find me on Nerdy AF. You can also find me on Sci-Fi Vision and Real Cinema and Therapy.
Absolutely. And see, you forgot again.
And you can Forward Entertainment, of course, especially on this week, Tuesday, and then following up after on Mondays, we're covering The Devil and Star.
Brian, do we pop her cherry for that? Yeah, let's pop the cherry.
Yeah, she got that.
No.
Yo, what we should have had is that you need to have the Phantom Zone video.
I know. I gotta put
Phantom
it.
Zone. No, put Jen's face in there. No.
Yeah, we popped the cherry on that one. Brian, tell the people where they can find you, sir.
Yeah, I'm 1/3 of Sport Kings. You know we go live Mondays, Thursdays, and Saturday nights. But I'm with Nzo at least 2 or 3 times a week. And then we got the Rewind Saturday morning. We got From Saturday night. And as Jen just said, The Devil and Silver, we're going to be getting that done. Make sure you turn on your bell notifications because we are going to go live. Join us. I appreciate you all. Thank you, guys.
Absolutely, 100%. Tomorrow night, we will be back with the Chaos Central stuff. It'll be Danny's show, so make sure to check us out there. Next week will be mine. The week after will be Chris, so Chaos Central will be back in effect. We took about 2 months off, but we decided, we got to get back into doing our things together and stuff like that, so that will be back Tuesday, like Brian and Jen said. We're doing The Devil. Wednesday, the OOC. I think Thursday we'll finish off The Boys because we still ain't finished that one off, and then so back here Saturday night for another episode of From. So make sure to check us all out for that. Love you guys. Peace, love, and hair grease, and we'll see you on the next one.